Alrighty, welcome to the Tuesday. On Tuesday. My name is Ultra David.
And I'm James Chen. How's everybody going?
Stevies are doing E3 stuff, which is something that we didn't get to do today.
Yes.
We were doing ESL, which is cool, I'm not complaining, but you know, it means that we didn't get to do E3 stuff today. So
yeah, we didn't get to play everything.
We'll be there tomorrow, but as a result, we didn't get like hands-on exp with things. And on top of that, I didn't even get to watch or like see what the news was.
God,
when it comes to E3 today. Although, hey, we've been on top of it otherwise, so we'll talk about that.
Literally, I was asking, like, when's the Nintendo conference? And you found out it was 9 a.m. this morning. So I still don't even know what happened at the Nintendo conference. People saying it's a little quiet. Let me turn the volume up a little bit.
So we'll talk about Dragonball, FighterZ, FighterZ. We will talk about Marvel Infinite and its demo, playable story demo, which is out.
Yeah, and there's been 3 trailers that Ono tweeted out. There was a gameplay trailer, there was a control demo, and then there was the story mode demo. So.
And then don't forget the one he tweeted out that,
yeah. Oh dear.
Was a while back. But yeah, there's actual game footage out now, and anybody can play it on the PSN, etc. So we'll talk about that. We'll talk about E3 more generally. Lots of tasty announcements, both for general gamers, but also for fighting gamers in particular. There's a lot of stuff happening. Very, very cool from a fighting game perspective this era. We'll talk about CEO coming up, which is this weekend. We'll be there.
You know what the scariest thing about that is? And I'm jumping the gun, but the closer CEO is, the closer that means EVO is.
EVO is next month, bub.
Jesus. Okay.
Next month, this time, we will be in Las Vegas. Yeah, that's pretty wild. But we'll talk about CEO because there's a ton of stuff to talk about for it.
Yeah.
Man, so many players are going to be there. Yeah. Every game's loaded. That'll be a cool talk. We'll talk about other game news, etc. Red Hood is out for Injustice. We'll talk about that. But we should start with Dragon Ball. Now, neither of us is like the biggest Dragon Ball fan. We're not like the target anime demo, you know, the demographic over here.
They like shoot fireballs at each other.
They sure do,
they
James.
Scream, and there's like, I think I tweeted out. There's like the character. I think the main character's name is Gecko.
Gecko.
And there's Vegetable
versus Vegetables
and Freezer.
Oh god. Yeah, so unfortunately, like I said, the Steves are doing E3 stuff, so they can't be here. And they definitely have the... I mean, they were doing DBZ games before it was cool.
Yeah, exactly.
They've been commentating for Dragon Ball, whatever the game's called, on whatever system. I don't even know.
Yes.
At the Wizard World stuff.
And it's funny, too, because everyone's going crazy. And, like, when I was growing up, well, when I was older, I should say, and DBZ was popular.
As an adult, when it was already popular.
People were actually telling me that DBZ was, like, bad. Like, it's just, like, kind of, like, silly and lame and, like, not worthwhile. Like, it's low-rent anime. But I think all the kids who grew up with it and enjoyed it are now adults. And so when they see this game, they're, like, excited about it. I didn't say it was bad. I haven't seen any of it, but, like, that's what people had told me a long time ago.
Well, I joke that I don't have any, like, knowledge in it, but, in fact, I used to watch it on Saturday or Sunday mornings when I was in high school.
So you did see some episodes. You've seen episodes.
Definitely I have.
Like,
I will come clean now that it's cool. I will come clean on that.
I literally...
Not that I'm some expert, but, like, I definitely have watched it.
See, I mean, all these people are in the chat, they're all like, it's pretty bad, but that's what makes it good.
Hey, you know.
Yeah. I mean, that's that's basically like how a lot of people grew up with Pokemon, with Power Rangers, you know, all that kind of stuff.
Have you seen Star Wars?
Did Star Wars? Yeah, I know. And that's the thing, but that's what makes Star Wars so good, right? I mean, honestly, that
was just what the people were saying. Yeah,
exactly. But, like, that's why my complaints about episodes 1, 2, and 3 have always been that they took themselves too seriously. That they needed to be cheesier. You know, I've mentioned this a million times, right? You listen to Star Wars' dialogue, and it's about as cheesy. He was making it supposedly as a space version of those cheesy adventure flicks, you know?
Yeah.
And so it's supposed to be goofy.
Oh, I know.
Anyways.
So, anyway, I'm not completely out of things. For example, I know his name's not Vegetable. Alright, fine.
Yeah, I know enough to know he's Vegeta. Yeah. That's all I know, and it's Goku and Frieza. Yeah, okay, I know. Yeah, I knew enough to make fun of the names, let's put it that way.
Fair enough. And I know a lot of the other characters. I'm just no expert in it at all. And if the Steves were here, I would definitely be feigning ignorance and allowing them to talk about everything. But they ain't. So, it's on us. Anyway, it's a very popular thing, and it's very cool because it's a game being developed by Arc Systems Works.
And here's the craziest part about it.
Very cool.
Until that, you know, obviously it was supposed to be announced and supposed to be a shock announcement at the Microsoft conference. It got leaked a couple of days earlier.
Yeah.
But the crazy thing about it is it only got leaked. Nobody had any idea this was even coming.
Dude, that is such a get as ArcSys, the developer, and I think the publisher is Bandai Namco.
Yes,
right?
It is.
So it's like quite a team already. Two fantastic developers, and one of them's developing and others publishing. I mean, that's super sick. But the fact that it was not leaked earlier, yeah, I am with you. That's impressive because it's not like they are announcing it and they're like, we're gonna begin working on it now. No, it looks super great already. Like it's already at a stage they have been working on long enough, clearly, that it already looks awesome. Like there's already like playable stuff at E3, already a bunch of characters. It already looks great.
It just looks like the cartoon.
Are awesome.
It just looks like the cartoon. It's ridiculous.
And there's things that like they put into it that clearly indicate lots of time. Like in between a round, one of the characters gets like blown up and like the whole earth is like exploding. Like that's. They've put a lot of time into this thing already. So the fact that it was not leaked, I think, is really impressive.
It's
earlier.
Crazy. It's crazy. And, like, the thing about it is, like, obviously we're not the biggest Dragon Ball fans, right? But I watched that trailer, and I could just tell that if I were a Dragon Ball fan, like, you could not just have been more, like scanners mode. Like your head is just going to explode because the way that it looked, the way that it homage, like people were showing moves and finding the matching manga frame.
I saw that.
Like
that was super cool.
With the one character with the People's Cellbo. I guess it's Cell who's doing they call it the People's Cellbo.
Yeah, that was a good one.
But like the fact that it looked exactly like that frame, like exactly is ridiculous.
Yeah, dude.
Is ridiculous.
Look, I don't think you need to be a Dragon Ball fan to think that this game looks amazing.
Yes.
It looks ridiculous. Like, the graphical, just virtuosity of it is amazing. And, you know, ArcSys with Xrd started that stuff. But as you have been saying, as the extra stuff's come out, Revelator, Rev 2, the new characters, they've been learning, you know what I mean?
Yes.
Like Baiken looks like a lot of her stuff is, like, better done. I mean, everybody's well done, but like, it's better done than some of the earlier characters. And now that they have had more time, even... Well, I guess I don't even know how long this game's been in development.
Right.
But I guess I would assume more time, it even looks better.
Yeah.
It even looks
it's
better than it did.
You can't even tell...
That engine's crazy.
You can't even tell that it's a 3D game. Like, there's just no indication that it is. Like, that's how crazy it is. And then, like, it zooms in on them all of a sudden, and they just got the anime faces and all the anime background. Dude, if you kill them with certain moves, you see it, like, launch the guy into a building, and he, like, blows up.
Yeah.
Like, the background gets destroyed. Like, as they're shooting lasers, the ground is, like, getting destroyed. And things like, oh, dude, the attention to detail in that game is ridiculous.
It's funny, because that's been in fighting games since Street Fighter 2. The background gets hit. Oh, it's so cool. But... I don't remember like the last time that I saw like a background explode and think like that was sick.
Yeah.
Typically, I don't even notice. I miss it, but it's impossible to miss it in this game. It's very cool. That's it without being distracting. Like it's just a great combination.
Beams, whatever. Lasers, whatever. Anyways, yeah.
Anyway, yeah. just looks gorgeous. I don't know how much to rave about it, because I feel like I could be raving about that constantly. Already I thought Xrd was fantastic. It's the prettiest 2D game.
Right.
Well, 2D gameplay ever, I felt. And this is at least as good.
Yeah.
You know, and it's just amazing looking.
Yeah, and the question really is like what's it going to play like, right? And so there've been a lot of footage that's been released. They've been releasing some footage. I know Nico had a stream that was doing a bunch of footage on there. And so there's like a match footage. There's one match footage that was captured direct feed in like glorious 1080p, which was just beautiful. Yeah. And it looks crazy. I mean, it looks like it has a lot of AUGH things. Like they look like there were dust combos in there.
Right, yeah. I thought it was very interesting to see, like, so let's talk about the gameplay, right? Yes. Enough of the gushing about the graphics. Fantastic. The gameplay is a 3 versus 3 Marvel vs. Capcom style game with assists, with speed, with sort of all the things that you expect in a Marvel 2-3 kind of game. And some of the things were really interestingly like shoehorned in there almost. Like the animation for like when you do a dust in Xrd and you like pursue and you go up and it's got like the little like side angle and it's like you're like going up there. That's like launch into continue combo, right? Like that's the air combo. That's super cool. And I said I wasn't going to gush about the graphics, but it is this team based game.
And it looks like the assists are there, but they're like super long cooldown kind of thing. So it's not. I don't know if it's going to be like MvC 3 style, where it's just going to be like assist all over the place.
Or MvC 2 style, where there was almost no cooldown. Yeah, maybe not like that. I mean, of course, it's going to be its own game. Like it won't be the same as the Marvel 3, nor should it be. But it does clearly have a giant amount of inspiration from that style, and it was explicitly, according to what I've heard, they explicitly wanted it to be like that.
Yeah, and
that was the
some
intention.
people are saying in the chat that you can use both assists at the same time. Interesting. And and also like when they show if you kill a character, it actually goes to a round end,
right?
And the next character jumps in, so there's no incoming mix-ups, right? Which is interesting too.
Yeah. Well, look again, it shouldn't be the same.
Yeah.
It should be its own thing.
Absolutely.
So I like that as a little bit of a different take. I enjoy the incoming mix-up in Marvel 2 and 3. It can get pretty crazy. You know, it can get real crazy. But I like the idea of it. I also really like the idea of just starting it up again. Yeah. You know?
Well, I think that's fine.
Drop the puck in the middle, you know?
Yeah. I think that's absolutely fine. I have no problems with that.
Of course.
But, like, there's a lot of interesting mechanics in that game. Like, it sounds like they have Arcana Heart-style homing dashes in the air. So when you jump and you hit a button, you automatically homing dash at them. It looks like you can flip out of combos you have to flip out of combos manually because there's a clip of someone hitting him and the combo meter turns a different color like they do in Guilty Gear games. Someone I even said that it looked like there's a burst mechanic in the game. It looks like you can change characters like almost at any time, like they just come diving in and like. But I mean, some of the footage is literally just people shooting lasers at each other across the screen everywhere, and like all these projectiles going everywhere, and it just looks absolutely nuts.
Well, that's AUGH has a lot of different character designs, and it's cool because, you know, of course, in building these characters, you have inspirations for their gameplay. We're talking about like the Celbo, right? But many other things than that. You have ideas about what the characters will need to have,
right?
But then you can build on that in very interesting ways.
Actually, David, you should probably move the laptop away from there because I think it's blocking your voice on the microphone. So move it to the side. There we go. Okay.
Yeah, anyway, so you get to...
Oh, yeah, you're way louder all of a sudden.
Am I right?
Yeah.
That's cool. You get to create... Like, it's almost like, you know how when somebody gives you a writing prompt, you can write more easily than if somebody's just like, writes something for me.
Oh, yeah. If
there's a prompt, it's like, okay, cool, I can build on this.
Yeah.
That's how I feel about coming into something with an IP like this.
Right. And, you know, I'm also wondering, like, obviously people have played it and people are talking about how much they're enjoying it. So the original, you know, Dragonball games, like AUGH developed some of those old ones on the like 3DS and stuff like that. Yeah, just these little 2D fighting games. And you know, they were all designed with like one button, you automatically do combos and stuff. But this one has a light, a medium, and a heavy attack. So I'm wondering, I'm assuming people who have actually tried it, it's probably very different now. You know what I mean? It's probably a lot less auto combo-ish, and and it seems like Arc System Works is trying to make a more legit fighting game out of this. Especially if they're adding in all these crazy mechanics. Like even someone in the chat pointed out, like I remember seeing this in the video too. When you walk forward, you gain super meter, just like in Guilty Gear.
Yeah.
So it sounds like they're really taking whatever those Dragon Ball games were before and really kind of pulling it into that Guilty Gear universe.
Yeah, it
mechanics.
really. Yeah, it definitely seems. I didn't even know that, but it definitely seems like Guilty Gear meets Marvel. I don't know what better way to put it. I mean, just the movement, the options that you have that we've seen so far. I mean, like even the number of supers, like it kept like things like that. Very good mix of the two. Very interesting mix of the two.
Yeah.
And man, that's playable, right? At E3.
Yeah. People.
We get to play it tomorrow.
Oh yeah. We get to play it tomorrow. So
we only got one day at E3 because Thursday we got to fly out to CEO, but. We got one day at E3 and we got to make it a good one.
Yeah, I don't even know how I'm going to see half the stuff because all I'm just going to want to do is check out MvCI.
It's going to be triage, man. You got to come in there with a plan. You got to have a checklist. Okay, this one.
God.
Right now, we'll talk about E3 in a bit, but I mean, this is the game I got to check out first, especially because MvCI has the story mode demo.
Yeah.
So you get a chance at it. I'm just really excited to see which characters they come out with. As always, even when I know an IP super well, I'm not in it for the characters, right? That's like not why I'm into fighting games.
Okay.
I want to know what the gameplay is, right? Who's the grappler?
Oh, right.
That's what I like. I want to know that kind of thing, and it doesn't seem like that's in there yet, but that's not to say that there won't be. It'd be weird if there wasn't, because there always is. And Narxis, like in Gear, a lot of the characters have command grabs.
Yeah.
There's like the big body command grab, but then there's like the other guys who have command grabs, right? So that's what I'm looking forward to is knowing more about the characters themselves and the
archetypes that they fill.
Yes. Who's the zoner? Who's the who's the Hulk? Right? Like
everyone keeps saying that Broly would probably be the grappler. So I don't know. People saying all these other names that I'm assuming that they're all names of characters.
They are. Well, most of them anyway.
They purposely showed the tame characters first, so prepare for wild, according to the developers.
Oh, did
that's
say
what
that?
Someone say. That's what someone said. Yeah, someone said that the devs said that, but I don't know how reliable chat is because people probably heard it on Twitter, who heard it from Instagram, who heard it from Snapchat. I heard it from
Shinikuma666.
Yeah, exactly. So
well, look, there's not a ton to talk about in terms of specifics because we haven't had a chance to actually play the game. We've just had. I mean, I've only seen those few gameplay videos, and I definitely watched them a lot. But there's not a ton to talk about.
Yeah, so apparently that is what they said. So they purposely showed the more tame, well-rounded characters, so it wasn't going crazy. And I believe that because Blaze Blue and Guilty Gear have some crazy-ass characters going on in there.
No doubt to me that there's going to be wild stuff.
Yeah.
Because the developer comes up with very interesting things for sure. Not just in Gear and Blaze Blue, but like HNK.
So in the chat, Dr. Dog tweeted out that Kugi provided a lot of details. So I don't know if we want to just sit here and read these on stream or anything like that. So
Ultra Chen reacts. Oh no, trademark infringement.
All right. So also, so he says he's going to post a lot about Dragon Ball FighterZ. He's going to post from the perspective of a high-level Guilty Gear player.
Ooh.
He played... By the way, you can follow him at Koogy Please, KOOGYPLZ. He's also the proprietor of Broken Tier, so support him there as well. So he played primarily villains, Frieza, Cell, and Boo, and tested a lot of Guilty Gear tech. You can cancel your air dash into momentum-altering normals and fall faster, a la Ino Instant Air Dash Vertical Chemical Love. Works with Frieza's Jump 2B and Goku's Jump 2A. So you can like air dash and do stuff. Like if you do that, she just drops right away. So they have stuff like that. There are command normals for a lot of the cast. So you can do 6Y with Frieza, Cell, and Boo are overheads. where I guess they hop. So maybe towards and medium is going to be an overhead for a lot of characters.
Sure.
Or jump 2A with Frieza. So there are, which makes sense because Guilty Gear had a lot of those as well.
Yeah.
You can get a basic auto combo by pressing X a lot. Very easy. Can cancel normal chains into Super Dash and follow up all of Guilty Gear dusts. Assists have varying levels of cooldown depending on the assist.
Oh, okay. They are really playing with things here.
No picking assist or DHC supers. Currently only one option for each character.
Okay, well.
Now on to character breakdowns. He'll start with Frieza since he's his favorite. He's very zoning heavy and has huge full screen options. Sounds like your character
I'm in there.
Yeah. His 2A is Cyclops Upward Optic Blast. Wow, okay. Optic Blast.
Yeah.
A is standard full screen Mashy Fireball. 2Y is similar to Viper Ground Pound, can follow up with Rush. So it sounds like a lot of people's normal moves are just beams and lasers.
I guess that makes sense.
And stuff, yeah. 5Y is MvC2 Doom Rocks that allows a Rush follow-up forward or canceling into his A specials. If you cancel into Rush, you're airborne.
Dang, Doom Rocks?
Generally, I got a basic air combo after any series into Rush into air combo. Very easy, felt like UMVC3 at times, very freeform and fluid.
That's what I'm
That
talking
is
about.
one thing that I have heard about the game is that people said that it just moves and feels good.
It looks like it moves and
Yeah.
feels good. Yeah, it looks like the movement's very satisfying and interesing.
Yeah. God, he even has estimated frame data here.
What are you doing,
Yeah,
Paul?
well, okay, Frieza's zoning game is complemented by his Death Saucer, reminiscent of Virgil's Round Trip, but it hits you also. But yeah, I've seen that. There was a super where he gets up. I don't know if you can only do it on Wake Up, but that guy did it on Wake Up, and the opponent blocked it, and it came back and killed him.
Oh my god.
Cell. He feels better at mid-range. Jump 2Y is a teleport overhead, puts you behind opponent's neck with a shoulder drop. He's a dive kick character.
Right, yeah. Teleport dive kick.
Yeah, Cell's 2Y is Slayer's 2D. Yeah, he does the slide.
I saw that, yeah.
Can cancel into his 5B attacks and lead to a combo.
Okay.
His 2A, 6A, and Jump A are amazing mid-full screen options. Didn't test a lot of his specials, mostly just did normals with him. Lots of left-right shenanigans with that jump 2Y plus assist.
Sure.
Has an unblockable full-screen attack called Telekinesis Slam. Very slow startup, at least 45 frames.
Okay, it's most of a second.
Yeah, couldn't combo after it, but maybe you can. Cell's level 3 Beam Super is pretty fast startup, huge damage. Felt super amazing to activate it. I was kind of hype, crying to be honest. Boo time! Really love this jump piece, similar to Faust Jump H, but altered air momentum plus fatter hitbox. Jesus.
Sounds really good.
Because Faust Jump H is like the scary button. Like that button just like hits the whole screen.
Wait, what does that look like? I don't remember.
It's the one where he just throws the sickle completely straight across the screen.
Right.
So you do the little air thing, he like controls the whole center of the screen. Really loved his... Boo's Jump Y is Slayer's Jump HS with a nice hitbox. With a nice hitbox. I feel like he's more comfortable mid-long range due to his kit. His cartwheel knocks the opponent upward and floats Boo backwards, where he recovers in the air. Did an air dash after it once. His cloud special is like Robokai's 6HS, but huge! At least 50% of the screen. Also has Leo's Jump 236H as a special stable combo ender.
So, what's Robokai's 6H?
Robokai's 6H is the Steam release, I believe, where he just stands straight up and spits out the steam, right? And then Leo's 236HS Jump is where, I'm pretty sure that's the one where he does the swing, catches you, and restands you. But I don't know if this is going to be a restand over here. People said that 7 is the max bar you can build up, and they said they did it that way for the number of Dragon Balls, but I'm not sure if that's actually true or if someone just made that assumption. So, you looking up the number of Dragon Balls?
Maybe.
Okay. So if you defeat the enemy team with his level 3 super, he eats them and they don't reappear. Smiley face. Cell turns into a big cookie-shaped like face.
He eats them.
Yes.
That's awesome.
And that's what he had in that thread.
Wow.
So there you go. That's Coogie Please. So you guys might want to follow him for the
He sounds like a good one, yeah.
Yeah, he might have a lot of information in there. So, yeah.
Yeah, well, I really appreciate the thoughts, and especially from somebody who is a high level. Enough, Birdie.
That was too early.
It was indeed.
It's too early.
It has been and is a high level Guilty Gear player, but he's also been that way with Marvel 2 and 3, he played really well too. So he's a really good guy to get a handle on the game.
It's interesting because I was told that they were not gonna, they were gonna try, they were gonna discourage people from filming video footage. But I think with all the direct feed footage that's been coming out, maybe they didn't care because they said Kugi has a bunch of videos on his timeline right now.
Awesome.
So maybe they were just like, whatever, just let people record whatever.
I hope that's true.
So
I would love to see it.
Okay.
And certainly from his descriptions, it sounds interesting. And I'm looking forward to seeing the weird, wild characters if Cell has like a jump attack that's a teleport that hits overhead behind you. And if a basic attack is a Doom Rocks. What's the wild characters
apparently they asked and they just said, go ahead.
Sick.
Nice. Okay. Smart stuff. It's Koogy Please. KOOGYPLZ. I'll throw it into the middle of the thing down here.
Cool. Yeah. Nah, dude also filmed some stuff. Yeah, that's really nice. I'm glad to hear it. I'm looking forward to a lot of that stuff coming out. Because everybody's interested in this game. Look, it's had a big impact in just a few days that we've known about it.
God, yeah.
Right? I mean, it's couple of things. Everybody likes Gear, even if you don't play it. I don't play it, but everybody likes Arc System. Like nobody doesn't like them. You know what I mean? Like
right.
Nobody thinks like, oh, I'm not gonna play Gear because it looks dumb. No, nobody. If you're not playing it, it's because like you prefer something else or you don't want to spend the time or whatever it is. Nobody doesn't like them. Everybody thinks that they're a good dev. And again, not just Gear, but BlazBlue, and even when it comes to like the wild, wacky stuff, HNK was a super fun, crazy game. You know what I mean? Like they make fun stuff. So they're a great choice for this kind of an IP that requires weird, wild stuff. Like it would be weird if somebody who makes games that are like more grounded and not movement heavy, if they made it, like that'd be weird.
Right.
So they picked like the perfect developer.
It's perfect. And it just cements my theory that these guys are the only company that should ever make a Darkstalkers game. Like seriously, if Capcom ever wants to make Darkstalkers, just go hire Arc System Works and be like, let's team up. You make this game, we'll publish it. Do your thing with this crazy animation style for Darkstalkers. Cause dude,
why not, man?
I mean, still, Darkstalkers is still probably more transforming than a lot of other games where, like, legs turn into buzzsaws and stuff like that. Because even Guilty Gear doesn't have a ton of that stuff, right? Doesn't have people's limbs transforming. Yeah. And that's always harder to do, much harder to do in 3D than people actually think.
Okay, of course.
But basically what would happen, it would be like Necalli's hair. You've seen the model that you see both hair there, and they just make one invisible and the other one's not invisible.
That makes sense.
During the time. So basically, that's what I would imagine Darkstalkers characters would be like.
They'd have to be walking around with like 20 invisible.
So if you turned off invisibility, like Raptor would have ribs sticking out, and one leg would be a chainsaw, the other would be a buzzsaw, and like there would be giant spikes sticking out of his elbows and stuff like that.
Yeah. No, you know what? Some of you posted in the chat that not everybody likes the anime style. That's definitely true. I guess what I meant, rather than everybody likes Gear and BlazBlue and stuff for that stuff, it's that like you recognize that they're very good games. Like the gameplay is very good, right? Like there's nobody who thinks that like the gameplay in those games sucks, right? Like I've never met anybody who thinks that. Everybody I know, even if they don't play them, thinks that they have good gameplay. I certainly think that. So again, I'm very excited for this. I think it's the perfect developer with a great IP, and it's a super popular thing. Everybody's going wild for it. It's there are very few IPs that are like accepted, I feel, in the way that something like Dragonball Z is. Everybody knows if you're from this generation and later, like you know about it. Like it's one of those like transcending things. So I think it's got a lot of potential. for a lot of people to pick it up, and I hope that some percentage of those people will try to play it competitively, and we'll get more people into the scene and all that stuff. That's my hopes. I have good hopes for it.
And honestly, some people really truly believe that this could be potentially a huge franchise for the fighting game community because it has that Street Fighter / Smash Brothers recognizability.
That's what I'm saying.
You know, so
yeah.
But Kugi has another thread here that I guess I'll read on here.
Go for it. I see the words up there. But
my final impression after testing for 1 hour: this is the best fighting game I've ever played. I'm not shilling at all. It's incredible.
1 hour.
The game manages to combine some of the best features from Guilty Gear, the Marvel vs. Capcom series, with Icona Heart's homing dash perfectly. The full-screen zoning and Intus rushdown combinations I tested all work, and it felt very freeform, but not overwhelming. There you go.
Well, I'm happy to hear that he is high on it.
That's
better than the opposite.
I had some serious emotions playing it, like this is the true MvC2 successor. Plus, Guilty Gear makes me feel something strong.
Yeah, look, those are the two games that, well, in Marvel 3, that he really played the most.
Yeah.
Kugi. So, like I said, I think he's a great person to be testing this game and talking about it because he knows both of those franchises better than most people.
Mm-hmm. Well,
but hey, I'm happy to hear that he's excited for it. Maybe, we'll see if it's the best game ever. It certainly looks good.
Yeah,
we'll see when it comes out.
Especially if it does. Because, see, here's the thing, right? The main thing that I'll probably, talk about is that what it sounds like they're doing is they're doing the correct thing where they are trying to make a game with low barrier of entry. So with one character I can hit buttons and shoot lasers across the screen and everything like that. But it sounds like that there's also going to be some high-level stuff in here. So you can have fun for the lower-level players, and then you'll have something fun for the higher-level players.
For sure.
Dumbing down fighting games is just not the correct answer.
I'm with you.
Yeah. So there we go. Okay.
Well, it's scheduled for release early 2018, which is not that far off in the game dev cycle. We're talking about a little bit over half a year, assuming it's early and not early 2017, meaning June 2017, as somebody else did recently. But even if it is, if they have a year left, look, I am of the philosophy that you take whatever time you need and you make a good game. And
it's interesting. So, I mean, they are obviously AUGH has done a bunch of stuff with like good betas for Guilty Gear, and apparently someone in the chat is saying that there was going to be a closed beta for the game before August or something like that.
Really?
Yeah. If they actually put in probably August before the end of summer, if they make a closed beta and they actually put in a training mode like all the other betas that they've given out for Guilty Gear,
hey, they're stealing the scene.
Yeah, basically
everybody plays that game in August.
Yeah, and there's actually something really interesting that we'll get to when we get to the FGC news stuff too. Yeah. An interesting side effect about Dragon Ball Z. So we'll get there in just a little bit. So
yeah, the training mode, the hyperbolic time chamber.
Yeah,
it's got to be called that. That Raph tweet was spot on. It's got to be called that.
Yes, agreed.
And I believe in them enough that it might be.
Right.
All right, man. It's all good. We're looking forward to playing it tomorrow. Yes. We will, of course, talk about our own experiences with it, but in the meantime, check out Kugi, please.
Yeah, you can see that at the bottom of the screen right there. All right, do you want to take a break? When we come back, we can talk about MVCI?
Let's do it.
All right, be right back, guys.
Well, let's continue the show by talking about this one. Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite. It's currently playable in a demo story mode for the consoles, and I've had a chance to play it. You did earlier as well.
Bit, yeah.
Just a bit.
You can't do anything in that demo. You can't do anything.
It's quite limited.
It makes me sad that they just didn't put a training mode thing in there.
Well, I'm definitely with you. However, I'm really happy that they did something.
Yeah, yeah, of course, of course.
We're going to E3 tomorrow. We'll have a chance to play it. But it's really nice to just be able to get a base understanding, right? There's no training mode in this. It's just a story mode, and you, as far as I could tell, can't skip the story parts of it?
I think you can. I saw
Could you?
Flo doing it.
I was pressing every button, and maybe I didn't
You're
try
supposed
everything.
to hit a button, then a skip thing shows up on the screen, and you hit the skip
For
button.
real?
I think.
Okay, I guess
so,
I just
yeah.
screwed it up then. Well, I'm happy to hear
I saw Flo skipping them, and
Okay.
I think I saw Maximilian skipping them.
Okay, well, the story is complete garbo,
Yeah,
obviously. But
I mean, it's.
when they showed the when they like announced that they were gonna have this demo mode, the story trailer that they had. Actually, I thought kind of looked all right.
Yeah.
The trailer I thought looked all right, and then the demo story mode is like they're all. It's like all the characters show up, and it's like Spencer. Like the other characters are like Spencer, Strider, Thor. They're
announcing
Captain
everybody.
Marvel,
Yeah,
Chun-Li. You know, like we don't know who these characters are. It's
Yeah.
like we haven't been playing video games for like 30 years. Like Iron Man hasn't been around as a popular character since before I was born.
Right.
Like you probably don't need that. I hope that the full story is better. That said, I'm very happy that they put it out. I think that's super sick. I am really actually enjoying the gameplay.
Okay.
I think it's super open and creative. Again, haven't had that much actual time in it, but it feels like it's very freeform and creative and open. You get to move around a lot. A lot of the characters have interesting options, improved options over what they had in some cases from Marvel 3. Thor seems a lot better, for example.
Thor seems a lot more interesting.
More interesting,
for sure.
too.
Yeah. So it's. I mean, a lot of people are worried that they're all just rehashes from the previous game. Thor looks like he has a couple of changes in there. I don't know how similar a lot of the other characters are going to be.
Like I saw that Chris has like a grenade that he can set up a cross up with. It looked like.
Yeah.
And like,
now he loads the Magnum. He has to reload the Magnum now.
Oh, okay.
So there's little bits of changes.
they definitely are not the same characters.
Yeah.
Not wildly different, obviously, but that's fine. Look, it's not a big deal to me that they're mostly the same.
Yeah, because it's interesting, because I originally felt the same when I started seeing all the Injustice 2 characters. I was like, why are they exactly the same? But then I was like sitting back and I was like, but we want that when we see like Ryu, you know?
Right, yeah,
like,
you want to have Ryu have some totally different moveset.
Right, you want Zangief to be the grappler guy, right?
Sure,
so
sure.
like, I
like you need to have some level of similarity.
Yeah, familiarity and callback, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so like, I wasn't, like, Injustice 2 helped me get over that. Let's put it that way. Because I was like expecting completely different things, and I saw videos of Superman doing forward 2, 3 breath, and I was like,
I hear you, dude.
this is still there? But then I was like, it's still there. That's fine. That's good. Because you want them to be so that people can pick them up and play them again. You know what I mean? That's kind of the point.
Definitely.
Yeah.
So no big deal for me, and especially when you think about the Marvel series history. Like Marvel 3 was kind of a departure from how previously it was.
Yeah.
But they basically just like reused the same assets for a decade, and they did.
Yeah.
And they basically had the same movesets, and it was like some other thing. The systems differed.
Yeah.
Right? But like the characters, not so much.
Yeah.
So fine with me.
Yeah, and the thing is, like, every version of the game has been pretty different.
Yeah,
like one by one. So X-Men Coda, Marvel were kind of similar. X-Men Street Fighter, Marvel Superheroes were a little similar. Then MvCI is kind of like a standalone, and then MvC2 and MvC3 were a little more similar. And then now MvCI feels like it's the next level of departure. It's always been 2 games, you know what I mean? Despite the fact that those 2 games are still very different from each other. Very different from each other. But it's always been 2 games. So a lot of people are saying this feels more like Tatsunoko, right? Because Tatsunoko had like a lot of mid-character changing combos, but not as freeform as this.
2 character teams.
Yeah, it wasn't just like punch, call the guy in there. The other guy looks like he takes forever to leave. But the thing about it is, it's just... with the moves that a lot of these characters have, it just feels like the kind of stuff that you might be able to come up with might be kind of crazy. Like,
well, I hope it is.
Yeah,
right?
Exactly.
I hope it's crazy, because that's what a Marvel game should be. When I think of a Marvel game, the first thing I think about is wild and crazy. Every single one is like that, but in different ways, like you said, and I hope that continues. And it seems like it is, just based on the little bit of experience that I've had with the game and been able to watch of the game. What up? You are looking at something.
No, people are talking about DLC. What I didn't mention anything about. Oh, they're talking about Panther. Yeah, Black Panther is going to be DLC.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah, Black Panther is going to be DLC. So, but dude, I mean, I know a lot of people hate DLC right now, but I mean, you know what? Maybe I'll save my DLC rant for another episode of Uncensored, because I just think that a lot of people are not looking at DLC correctly, unfortunately. So
no, it's a modern reality of video games. Video games have cost the same amount of dollars for 25 years. Meanwhile, the dollar has, as everything does, depreciated over time.
And all the production is way more expensive.
Production is more expensive.
Not only that, but video games have gotten cheaper over time. Do you remember buying FF6? Do you remember buying Chrono Trigger?
$80 in like 1993.
Yeah, Phantasy Star 4 was like $90, right? Super Street Fighter 2, I believe, was like $90 for these cartridge-based video games. You know, like,
I mean, that's not to say that all DLC is good and that all DLC practices are fine. I do think that there are sometimes it gets too much. You know what I mean? Like there's certainly like a reasonable limit to it, beyond which it just becomes nickel and diming, and like come on. But that's the modern games industry, and if you don't want to pay more money up front, then you're going to have to pay more money on the back end if you want good games. You know, you guys know how it works.
And the other thing too is like when you beat like old Super Nintendo games, like, and you sit there and watch the credits, it's like maybe 100 people. Now you beat a game and it's like this studio, in this foreign country. Here's the music people. Here's the games are stupidly expensive to make now, and it's frustrating because like now it's even to the point where unless a game, like I've heard like AAA games, like unless they sell like 2 million copies, they won't break even. Like dumb things like that, right? And it's one of the reasons why I kind of hate the way video games are going. But
I hear you. Yeah, it's a problematic system.
Yeah,
I don't love it. I'd rather just get everything up front. But that's kind of how it works. Again, though, that doesn't mean that all DLC practices are cool or fine. Like, should a stage cost whatever, $10 or
of course.
But like, the idea of it is definitely here to stay. I feel like that's a conversation from 5 years ago.
Square considers 6 million copies a failure, exactly, and it's just like I don't know what.
When it comes to MvCI, I mean that's going to be happening. It happens in all the games, right? Every game has DLC that comes out later. It's just a question of how many characters and
I had a whole argument with my friend who was complaining about Mario Kart DLC in Mario Kart 8. And I was like, why are you mad about Mario Kart? They gave you exactly as many tracks and karts as every other Mario Kart game ever made when you first bought the game. And now there's extra tracks and extra characters that cost money. And he's like, I just hate seeing them, and I think the practice is dumb. I'm like, but you're not being stolen from anything. You have exactly the same amount of time.
Yeah, like if a game gets launched and it's clearly incomplete and then they DLC the rest of it, that sucks. Nobody likes that. But as a practice, it's definitely here. Anyway, about the game, Marvel Infinite. I'm very much looking forward to actually sitting at E3 and trying it out because as I played it for 10 minutes this morning and you played it for like 10 minutes this evening.
God.
It was just very clear that like 10 minutes is not going to cut it.
Right.
Like it's clearly one of those games where you get to spend a lot of time. There's a lot of stuff to look into. I'm sure there's going to be cheap crap, like you said. I'm excited for that.
Yeah,
because I feel like all the characters are going to have cheap stuff. And the gems all work very interestingly, like very different air dashes, or you put a box on the opponent, or like your combos are they're extended. A lot of different options are involved. So the fact that it's 2 characters, when they first announced that, I was not bullish on that prospect. I felt like 3 characters is like really cool. I like having extra options.
Yeah, exactly.
But the gem edition is a nice way to feel like you have some kind of extra thing that's not a character. But it's like, a projectile, right?
Yeah. Well, it depends.
Stone.
Reality
forget which stone. It was Reality.
Yeah, has a projectile.
Each stone has its own thing.
Speed lets you do back air dash, and then power gives everybody a wall bounce attack for a combo extension. And then they all have a super that you can activate too. So the space one is the one that puts you in the box. The Reality one just like you get like lasers are shooting across the screen and like you freeze people in ice and other things. Yeah, lasers. Every game has lasers these days. Yeah.
Key blast.
So, But you know, like I was watching Flow stream, and he was like, and it's sad to me that this is the case, because he was like, I'm really excited for this gameplay. He's like, I can see so many broken things you can do in this game. Ray was like playing it, and he was like, look at the movement on this. You know, like he was doing air plink dashes with Thor. Mm-hmm. Some people were saying like the characters were moving too fast and stuff like that. And,
watching you play, so James came over to my place. He played it a little bit before we went on the show. Watching you play, I thought maybe the stages aren't that small, because I had told James that I felt that the stages were really small. They're like very tight. And then watching you again, I'm not sure that's the case. It might just be that you're like moving around constantly. You're like so fast. Maybe it is that they're short too. I don't know. But certainly characters move fast, and there's a lot of stuff. I mean,
Ray obviously had some issues with the game and stuff. So, but like I know. The problem is, like, when I see someone like Flo sitting there talking about how he kind of likes the game and he was kind of excited for it, right? Like, people in the chat were just all, like, saying that he must be a shill, or, like, he is probably not being real about it or something, or that he's wrong. It just feels like right now, and we talked about this with the DBFZ, you know, the effects that it's having.
Yes.
As soon as it was announced, everyone, like, stopped having any hopes for MvCI, and now just kind of were like, I want this game to suck.
Yeah, they basically took all their piles of hopes and they just like dumped it over onto the Dragonball game,
right?
And not so much on Marvel Infinite anymore,
right?
And the Dragonball game looks more like Marvel 3 and 2.
Yes.
So I get why people are looking at that and thinking that it's like the successor.
Yeah.
On top of that, again, you know, it looks beautiful, etc. We praised it as much as we like basically possibly could in half an hour earlier.
Right.
But Marvel Infinite is going to be its own thing. It's not going to be Marvel 2, Marvel 3. It's not going to be anything else. And that's the case with every Marvel game. Well, really every game that Capcom like does. They always do that. Some developers don't do that. They make smaller changes between games. Capcom always makes big changes, and this is no different. And I'm excited for that. When Marvel 3 came out, clearly it was not Marvel 2, right? The button schemes were different, characters were different, like assists work differently.
Dude,
obviously it was different, and people who played Marvel 2 heads were sad about it. Dude, like, they were super angry.
Let me talk to you about MvC 2 when that first came out, because it used to be a 6-button game, and then they changed it to 4 buttons plus 2 assists, and everybody was furious about it. People were like, you are ruining this game. That whole like chain combo of light, heavy. Like, everyone was mad about that. Like, people were mad. And they're like, look at how stupid this game is. I just hit a button and like 1 button special moves. And like, people were really upset about that game when it first came out.
Always it happens.
Yeah.
And sometimes there are valid concerns. I don't want to poo-poo that stuff entirely.
Yeah.
But it is the case that every game is going to be different. And I'm happy that Marvel Infinite does have its differences. I think that's good. I don't want to... It'd be a bummer if it was the same. It's like Street Fighter V. It'd be a bummer if it was like SF4. It should be a different game.
Right.
Is it perfect?
Yeah,
Maybe not, but it should be different. And so I'm happy that Marvel Infinite is as well.
Yeah, I mean, it's like, I mean, you can see it in chat right now. People are like, oh, you know, nostalgia is a dangerous drug. It really, 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 really is. Like, I wrote a 100-page FAQ.
That's a big part of why I think this is so good. Nostalgia.
100-page FAQ on CVS2. I love that game when it came out. I love that game. But even I recognize right now that game is, like, really flawed. And, like, when people are like, man, I wish fighting games were, like, amazing like they used to be, like, in CVS2. And then people watch CVS2, look how great this game was. Dude, at tournaments, people would, like, get bored because, like, people would just sit back and down fierce all day with Sagat. And, like, people just, like, started getting bored. Matches with... I had a 40-minute match. 2 out of 3 match. I had a 40-minute match with Tong Ho from San Diego because neither of us could attack each other because our teams were completely turtle-based characters. It was a 40-minute match that took place at Southern Hills Golfland with 2 machines. And so we hogged 1 machine for 40 minutes.
That's a bummer, dude. There was a famous grand finals over on the East Coast between Justin Wong and Steve Harrison that lasted an hour and a half. And that's on YouTube. And you can find it. And it's every single game is a separate YouTube video. So if you want to snake down that path, good luck, because that is a long haul.
Yeah,
The point is, games that you think were awesome certainly have awesome sides, but they all got problems too. None of them is a perfect game.
I mean, look, I'm telling you right now, 10 years from now, people are going to remember Marvel 3 as this miracle drug of just like this most amazing fighting game. You know, and that's how people feel about MvC 2 right now, right? So people sitting here saying, oh, MvC 2 better than MvC 3. Look how many people are super passionate about MvC 3, right?
That always happens.
So, yeah.
That always happens. So anyway, I'm glad that the game is different. It should be different. From what I have experienced in the gameplay of it, I'm excited. I think it looks how I want it to look, which is not the same, but still open and free,
right,
and sandboxy and tons of options, fast. It looks like it has all of that stuff, and that is how I feel. Those are like the essential qualities of a Marvel game, and it's got that stuff.
Yeah,
so
I mean, a lot of people are talking about like
gameplay.
It's interesting because I don't feel like the criticism towards the game, a lot of it is coming from people who've played it. Right? I mean, there's obviously some who have played the demo a little bit, but honestly, like I said, when MvC 3 first came out, remember how slow we were playing that game? And we were like, this game is super limited, we can't do anything, every match was a timeout.
I was going to say, do you remember their conversations, maybe we should up the damage, maybe we should decrease the timer? People, like, it was timing out so consistently at the start, and then that proved to be absurd.
Right.
So, I'm willing to wait to pass any significant judgment when it comes to the gameplay. Important to note.
Yes, because we're talking about the gameplay.
The gameplay. It's the same conversation that we had to do when it comes to SF5. I like SF5's gameplay a lot. You gotta add the final 4 letters of that word. The gameplay. Because the rest of the game is problematic. Okay, obviously.
Look, let's just not mince words about the graphics are suspect.
Oh.
Very, very suspect.
Not good. When you see it in person, if you get a chance to play it, it doesn't look as bad as some of those screenshots that are out there, like the hilarious one that Sanchez posted with the Dante one where he's Steve Buscemi.
Oh yeah,
That's actually a genius post.
But
I saw in the story mode where that was likely taken from, and like there's definitely that frame in there, but in motion it doesn't look as bad.
Right.
Not a pretty game, but not that bad. So it's a qualification without purpose, maybe, but it's not that bad.
I'm glad that they hired the person who animated Katana's crouching kick to make Chun-Li's walk.
Yeah, dude, for sure. Like, there's a lot of stuff in there. A lot of the faces are bad, even though it's not like they're not in motion. They're not like the Steve Buscemi face, but they're not good.
Chun-Li
and that
walk
like,
looks
bizarre.
like she's a He-Man figure. Like, it's literally like you're rotating the waist as she walks.
Yeah, her upper body doesn't know that her lower body's doing anything.
And it's a concern. It's a concern. I don't think the Chun-Li face looks as bad as people say. It looks pretty bad.
Yeah,
but I don't know if it's the worst thing. I've seen worse. But it's...
I'm still cracking up about the Buscemi, this Dante Buscemi. Yeah, look, it's bad, but is it like the worst? Well...
It's not good.
Maybe.
It's not good.
Is it the worst?
Like...
Maybe.
Would I put it on the level of Ken Face in Street Fighter V?
I would.
You would? Okay.
I would. I guess it's that versus release KOF 14 for gnarliest of the modern era.
I definitely said that this game is basically Capcom's version of KOF 14 right now because it doesn't look good, and you can tell they're reusing a lot of the assets from the mobile game. Because, like, even Hawkeye has the same costume. Gamora looks exactly the same.
Yeah, Strange. A lot of them look very similar.
So they have different proportions, but they're using a lot of the same models. And then it feels like they hired somebody to, like, make Chun-Li in the style of the mobile game with slightly upgraded graphics. And they hired people, like, who really didn't know how to make graphics. Like,
that's a very kind way of putting it. Very charitable. Yeah, it's gnarly looking. You know, it is a disappointment. When Marvel, I mean, like I said, the previous Marvel games almost always reused assets. Like Marvel 2, a lot of those sprites had been around since like 94.
That's why there's the joke that Morrigan has the same sprite in every game.
Well, it wasn't a joke. It was...
It's true.
It's actually real. from her
Darkstalkers,
CVS and Marvel. I mean, it was the same sprite. It was janky looking even in the context of those games. So there's precedent for that. It's just it's 2017, and I think that we should not expect what was good practice back in 1999 today, because the competitors are just above and beyond right now. We talked about the DBZ game. It is as beautiful as could be. The other ones that are around right now, Tekken 7, gorgeous.
Yes.
Xrd, gorgeous.
Dragonball.
Even Injustice, they really improved it. I know it's not. I know it's not the best, but like they clearly took steps. To like improve it. Most of the faces look great. Like there's like everybody's improving stuff.
Yes.
And then at the same time, you got Capcom, which is definitely going backwards. I feel that Marvel 3 is one of the best audio-visual works ever in a fighting game. The music is fantastic. The graphics, you look at them, they're still good. They are animated characters in ways that those characters would move.
And me and
I love it. So that was 2010.
Yeah, when that game first came out, me and my friend kept saying, why does this Chun-Li look 80 billion times better than Street Fighter 4 Chun-Li? Like, Marvel 3 Chun-Li looks really good.
She does.
And you compare the Marvel 3 to the Marvel Infinite, and it's definitely a downgrade, right? And a lot of it has to do, and a lot of it might just even have to do with the shaders. Kind of like how KOF had so many problems at first, right? Because like someone compared the Dante pictures, and it's like if you look at the MvCI Dante picture and you zoom in on it and look at his jacket, you can see all this texture on the jacket. The jacket is more detailed. There's like all this cool stuff. You go and look at the MvC3 one, and it's comic book shading. So there's not as much detail. And that looks better.
It does.
Because I mean, I've been arguing for a while that I'm just not a fan of realism in it, like being too overly realistic. So like they have all these great textures on. That's the word, textures. The one that I couldn't think of earlier today. But so like when you look at Chun-Li's outfit, like there's some good textures on it, but like the animation's not good. The face is not good. Like there's just so many things about it that. Oh man, like do they really want to pull a KOF and release the game and then update the graphics later, or do they just want to delay the damn game and like maybe work on the graphics a little bit? Because
I would vote for that.
Street Fighter 5, everyone's like, look, just delay the game. We would have rather had you delay the game, right? It's kind of like, you know, it's like if you release a bad game, it's like bad forever, right? You know,
classic quote, right?
Yeah, it's the classic quote. So I feel like they need to do so much. Oh, people are talking about the voice acting. Yeah, the voice acting is...
Oh, yeah, you know.
Yeah.
It's not like Marvel 3, for sure.
Yeah.
Which had some awesome voice acting in it. And part of that is the writing. You know, I mean, like I was talking about the story. The demo story mode is not good.
Yeah, and I wonder if it's Disney. Like, did they, like, say, we spent all this money on this Marvel Champions mobile game, we don't want to throw it all away, please reuse these assets? Like, is that what, like, happened?
I don't know. You know, I thought when Marvel Infinite was announced, my faith in the game was high because Marvel Disney was involved. And I figured they would only accept good stuff. They're not going to let these important characters to them have, you know, some problematic showing. I felt like they would demand good graphics, etc. And yeah, you might be right that maybe I just misread them.
I mean, the only reason why I'm not trying to make an excuse for anybody. I'm just trying to figure out why it looks that way.
Yeah, the reason.
Like, honestly, I'm trying to figure out why it looks that. I mean, like we see, like for example, KOF. They've taken those models and pulled them out, and because they all use the Unreal Engine, they slapped it into Street Fighter 3, Street Fighter 5, right? And like the Angel model looks amazing in there, like with the different kind of lighting and all these things like that, and. Marvel Infinite is being made on the Unreal Engine.
Yeah.
Why not just take the Street Fighter 5 model and slap it on there? Like when you see them swap the models, like when Ryu turns into Chun-Li and he slaps his ass and does all the stuff like that. But like the bone structure is perfectly matched. And I made a comment once and I was like, wow, this is really impressive how well Street Fighter 5's engine maps the body parts. And Madge, who's now worked on video games, was like, that's just the Unreal Engine. The Unreal Engine just does all the work for you. And so, like, why couldn't they just take the Street Fighter V Chun-Li model and just, like, slap it into Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite? Even when she does the lightning kick super, it looks really stiff. Like, there's something about it that looks really bizarre and odd.
I am
but
definitely...
They all look like action figures, like, that don't really have very articulate limbs. Like, when they're moving.
Like little Dan down here.
You know what I mean? Yeah, exactly.
My guess is it's not Marvel and it's not Disney. I really just think it's Capcom. And I don't know what's going on over there. Something's going on, though. And it's a bummer of a timing for them because they are coming out with the game pretty soon. It's coming out in September. And they've already announced that, and they have, you know, their own fault, had a lot of negative publicity, a lot of negative community reaction from Street Fighter V. And that community goodwill is, like, lowering. And, you know, it's a bad situation for them. Do they release the game in September and it looks like this? Or do they wait a year or whatever it takes to make it good looking? Either way, bad community reaction. So, I don't know. Personally, like we said, I would rather it be delayed. Or, hey, I saw a tweet from Filipino Champer the other day
I saw that
where
too.
he says that he asked Ono, Yoshinori Ono from Capcom, about graphics in Marvel Infinite, and apparently Yoshinori Ono, he said that it's all going to be all right.
He's like, we'll improve
take care of it.
We'll improve the graphics.
Yeah, Birdie's channel will be gone by the time it's released. It'll be fine. It'll be fine, I don't believe that. I would be very surprised, but you never know, and certainly I'm hopeful that that will occur.
Yeah, right. It'd be nice. It'd be nice. But, I don't...
It's a tough spot because, like I was saying, the community feeling towards Capcom has been going down anyway.
Right.
This game doesn't look pretty. I like the game, but it looks cool. The game doesn't look pretty. Voice actors too, I guess. Whatever. Audiovisual work in general, not very good. At the same time, like I said, other games are beautiful or at least improving. And there's a clear, close competitor to Marvel Infinite in the Dragon Ball Z game.
Right.
A very, very obvious competitor to it, which is gorgeous and looks like it has awesome gameplay, and it's the best game that Kugi's ever played.
Yes.
You know? So going up against that is tough.
Yeah.
But it's definitely a self-inflicted wound.
Yeah.
So I'm sad for them that has occurred, but at the same time, that's on them.
Yeah.
And that's...
And
what do you say about
to touch another topic, like people who watch me play Injustice Online, so I stream myself learning Injustice Online. Like, you can ask the people who are in that stream how much I was hating on doing my cat stance combos in Injustice. Cat stance is down, down, and heavy punch. And you can look at Dante's move list. They replaced all of his uppercut moves with down, down. And I just
Same with everybody.
I just don't understand, like, how that's easier.
Oh, I really hate that motion.
Yeah.
That was part of why I stopped playing She-Hulk in Vanilla Marvel. Well, no, I stopped playing her in Ultimate. A, because she got terrible, but B, because I just didn't want to do down, down anymore. I hated the running stance. And even in just basic combos, I would miss, like, you know, MMHS into run, into slide, OTG. Let alone being an X Factor 3 and trying to use her as an anchor.
Right.
It's harder for me. And
it's not a singular motion.
Right.
You know, it's not... You know what I mean?
It feels less fluid. You have to interrupt yourself. At the same time, I know that I have been playing games with the Dragon Punch style motion forever.
Right.
And it's like part of my
It was hard for us at
movement.
first, too.
Sure,
Uppercuts were hard.
sure.
But, I mean, to be honest
So
with
for
you,
other people, is down, down easier? I don't know.
what
Maybe.
they should do is they should put an option in the game. Because I can imagine down, down might be easier for people on this thing.
Yeah?
Because it's just tap, 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 tap. But for joystick users, I don't think it's going to be easier. There should just be an option on the character select screen that lets you pick down, down, like a config, or a button, on the button config screen, there should be an option that lets you change down, down to DP motion.
I guess I understand that, but at the same time, there's probably some gameplay aspect that would make one or the other better. Like the best. like some kind of buffering, like you buffer more easily into one or the other,
like option selects or something weird like that.
For sure. So I don't think that you can do that. It's just I would prefer Dragon Punches, and I don't know if other people who aren't, haven't been in FGC, haven't been playing fighting games forever, I don't know if they feel that way. I have no idea.
Down will be great for autocorrects. It's going to blow up all left or right mix-ups that way.
Perfect example.
You don't have to worry about which direction to uppercut.
Right. Yeah, so, gameplay-wise, I think you have to have one motion.
Yeah, that's true.
But, yeah, definitely.
I mean, some people are saying there's like down-downs, like in Melty Blood, and like even in Virtua Fighter, there's obviously like forward button, down button. But the thing about
NRS games have down, like it's not a new motion,
right? But the thing is, like Virtua Fighter is not about buffering moves. You don't buffer moves into forward and stuff like that, right? They're all separate moves, and so like if I want to do a combo into a forward, which I was doing with King, right? I had a forward and 2 buttons. Like when you hit them, you're not buffering into it. You're doing hit the button, wait till this move hits them, and then way beforehand I can go forward. Yep. You know what I mean? And like get it in there. It's a very different kind of combo engine. In Marvel, you're gonna have to be canceling everything at high speed, and I just don't know if down would work for that.
It sounds like to me it would sound like it interrupts my flow.
Yeah.
But hey, we'll see how that goes. I'm not happy about it, but we'll see. In general, I just think that the obviously there's a big, we see it in the chat right now, a lot of people, even though we have been quite critical over the past 20 minutes, a lot of people are like, these shills, they're making apologies.
Yeah.
Like the level of people are being unhappy about it is pretty significant, right? And like I said, I do think a lot of that is due to Capcom. Like they've made a lot of errors in the past couple of games that they've put out. Also, unfortunate timing because of DBZ.
Yeah, and you know
that sucks, but that's on them, I suppose. Just you gotta make good games.
Justin tweeted out that he played Dragon Ball Z with K-Brad, and he was like, "This game is amazing. This might be one of the most fun fighting games I ever played." And everybody was probably like, "That's so cool to hear." And then Justin's like, "I really enjoy Marvel. This game's really fun." And everyone's like, "You are such a shill." Yeah,
right. So here's some old tech that old Davey picked up back in the day playing NRS games. I thought MK9 looked like a pile of butts. Right? I thought Injustice 1 was a dark pile of butts. It was a very heavily shaded and bland looking pile of butts. Those are a couple of my favorite games over the past 10 years. You just have to be able to divorce yourself to some degree. For me, that's not that hard to do. For other people, you either divorce yourself from the graphics or you don't play the game. And that sucks to have to make that choice. Believe me, I understand. But that looks like the route that we're headed into right now.
Yeah. So I mean, look, does it deserve
criticism? There's no happy end to that sentence.
Does it deserve criticism? Yes. And in fact, we've even had streams where, like, I'm complaining about Street Fighter V, and you're, like, trying to tell me that I'm being unreasonable hating on certain things, right? So
we definitely disagree about things.
Yeah, and then on Twitter, I'm like trying to defend Street Fighter V, and people are calling me a shill. Like, the thing about it is like, I understand the middle ground of things. You can complain about something and not want it to die or want it to fail.
Bingo.
Or think it's the worst thing on the planet, and that's what everyone's treating it right. That's why the Chun-Li face thing confused me. Yes, it's bad. Is it the worst thing ever? Like, did people not see Mass Effect Andromeda? Right? Like, I mean, the guy walk is mildly worse than Chun-Li walk, okay? But like it's there have been far worse things than the Chun-Li face, but people are calling it the absolute worst thing. Is it bad? Yes, it's bad. I'm not even going to lie, right?
But there's no need to be extremist about it because the game, you look at the game and it speaks for itself. Clearly, it's not a pretty game. Fine. Like, it doesn't need to be the worst.
Right.
Although,
just like people right now are calling Street Fighter V the most terrible game ever made, right?
Yeah, obviously nonsense.
Right.
Like,
I just got into an argument with somebody who was telling me that Street Fighter V is one of the most unbalanced games ever. And I was like, have you not played 90% of the fighting games?
Yeah, no, of course.
Before Street Fighter 4?
Like I said, you don't have to be, there's no need to be hyperbolic when you just look at it and clearly it's not good. It's obvious.
Yeah.
So I really hope that they improve on it. There's not that much time to do so. In the meantime, think about what we have been doing for the last 20 or 30 minutes, which is saying that we liked the gameplay and then basically pooping on it to like maybe like a level 6 pooping, and like other people are like at a level 10 pooping.
Yeah,
right. Like, but there's nobody like below a 4. Everybody's like pooping on to some degree.
Right. Exactly.
We've been doing that. That sucks for Capcom because they put out a story mode demo. Like we could be playing it, and in a theoretical cool land, we're all like, "This is great. We get thanks for putting out the thing. The gameplay's awesome, but we can't just say that because the graphics are bad." And that's a bummer. It's just like the conversation that we had in SF5, where my brother is a more casual fighting game fan. He just plays video games more generally, and he asked me,
"Okay, that's fair." Phantom, I mean, like to add to his joke, people insulting Marvel's pooping level is over 9,000 right now.
Nice work. Nice work. Yeah, I mean, I had to tell my brother, like, there's probably not that much in this game for you. Because he didn't want to play it online. He didn't want to be competitive. Right. He wanted to, like, play against the computer and screw around. Yeah, and I was like, basically, dude, this is not the right game for you.
That's what my brother...
That's
played Street Fighter his whole life.
Yeah, that's what my brother, too. So I don't want to tell people that, but I don't want to lie to them either. Right. So it's a crappy situation for everybody.
Right.
I'd rather play video games with my bro, but, like...
Look,
there's nothing in it for him, so it sucks. And as I said before, it's on Capcom. I mean, they're the ones making the game. Doesn't need to be the case that 2 players still can't rematch. Like, there's things that could be better, and they're not doing it. People
are pointing out stuff like Tekken came out, console one, you couldn't go online for a few days. If that happened to MvCI, oh my god. It's it. It's over, right?
Yeah, because the game comes in without that much goodwill.
Right, exactly.
Whereas Tekken comes in with a lot of goodwill because it's gorgeous and a great game.
Right, but here's the thing, right? Like, I'm just going to say this right now. Like, people are trying to accuse me of being a shield for Street Fighter V or for Marvel or whatever like that, right? Like, I can only think of one fighting game that I've really just like, will not back. Like, it's really hard for me to promote and back that game, right? But, like...
Combat Tribes.
How did you know? No, just kidding. But, like, outside of that, like, when KOF was coming out and it didn't look good, I was like, yeah, it didn't look good, but maybe it'll be fun to play.
Yeah, sure.
You know? Like, Mortal Kombat 9, when it came out, I was like, I don't like the way it is. Injustice, you know? I'm like, why does everybody's animation still look the same? I'm still playing it right now, you know? Like, I am the kind of person that I've always given people the benefit of the doubt, and games the benefit of the doubt. And even as a person who didn't like Tekken for the longest of time because I didn't understand it, and the presentation did not appeal to me, right? I never said Tekken was a bad game. I could never say that because I couldn't play the game. I can't give an informed opinion about it. You know what I mean? So, despite the fact that I didn't enjoy it, I'm not going to shit on the game because, like, I'm just trying to come from a very logical standpoint, right? And, you know...
It's trying to be reasonable.
And everybody is going to be like, James, it's the internet. You can't be reasonable. And yeah, that's absolutely true. And so you're always going to get the extremes. But, like, I'm not trying to shill out for anything. I'm trying to be hopeful because I want all the games to be good. I want to have fun with all the games. I want everybody to have the option to play every game, and I want people to enjoy all the games.
I'm very much with you.
This is all it is. You know, that's it. I haven't really, like... I haven't talked shit about any game, you know, any fighting game to the degree where I'm like, stop playing this dumb game.
Sure, me neither.
Anyways.
It is exasperating. I'm definitely with you. It's a sucky situation for everybody, and I wish the graphics were just good so we didn't have to talk about this. I just want to play and talk about Marvel Infinite. It looks like a fun game. It's just that you have to, as you did with SF5, address, you have to say, I like the gameplay.
Yes.
Because the rest of it is clearly not up to par. Bummer.
Yeah.
Definitely a bummer.
My blood pressure is always super high, so I can't fix that at all. So.
But you gotta have those last 4 letters. You gotta say you like the gameplay. Because you can't be honest and say that you like everything about it, you know. We did talk about the gameplay, and we are both very...
I'm not talking about Tekken 7. Tekken 7 is amazing. Are you kidding me? I'm talking about a long time ago. Like I said, Tekken 7 has done leaps and bounds to improve their presentation and stuff. So I really like Tekken 7 right now.
I hear you, dude.
Yeah.
Well, we're all hopeful that it will look nicer, but it probably won't. So, you know, get used to it, I suppose. Sucky. It's like one of those bad news situations where you just gotta like either grin and bear it or like you're out of there. But at the same time, DBZ's coming out.
Yeah.
And other stuff is happening. And it's like everything's coming out. Right? Everything is out or coming out.
Even Final Fantasy Dissidia, which has been in the arcade for God knows how long, is coming out. Just like Unio EXE latest, right?
It's coming out. Tekken 7 just came out. Injustice. There's a new update to SF5. ARMS is coming out on Friday. There's everything. It's just a really terrible time to release a game that is not fantastic. Because if it's not... Even if... Think about this. If the graphics were like not the worst ever, but like not good... That's still bad news in this time of everything's coming out and it's great. Unfortunately, is it the worst?
Yeah.
Maybe.
I mean, do you remember the period of time where we couldn't go a week without mentioning Unio? Like, we had to keep just talking about how great that game was. Yeah. Like, I don't know. I like fighting games. I like fighting games. I want to play all the fighting games, and it's like... It's frustrating to me that people are reacting this way, you know? And like I said, I just don't feel like it helps anybody to want things to fail.
No, you shouldn't want things to fail. And there's not going to be any payoff. Like, if Capcom dies, it's over. That just means you don't get another Street Fighter or Marvel game. Maybe it's worth it, because then you get more DBZ games and more arcs and stuff. Like, okay, Marketplace, etc. Whoever's makes the best game should have the most players for sure. But you got to understand that probably means no Street Fighter and whatnot. If that's important to you, then take that into consideration. If it's not, no big deal. I certainly I don't play games that I don't find fun. So.
Right.
Is it the worst looking ever? Maybe.
Yeah.
All right. It's on Capcom. Do a better job, please. You want to
let's take a
move on here? We're just going in circles at this point.
Yeah. Exactly,
Everybody knows the issue. It doesn't look that great, but the gameplay looks fun to me. We'll see how it goes.
I mean, my levels of complaining are going to continue once we get the E3 conference stuff. Although I haven't watched the Nintendo conference yet, so.
Got it.
Do you want to take a break and then come back and we'll just close everything out then?
You got it, bub.
Okay, be right back, guys, so I can lower my blood pressure right now. So we'll be right back.
Alrighty, welcome back to the Tuesday show. We have talked now about a couple of the games that have been either announced or shown more of at the E3, the Electronic Entertainment Expo over in Los Angeles, California.
Right.
Which we get a chance to go to tomorrow. God, I'm still looking at that picture. Crap.
And I'm 100% just gonna take the train in there, dude. That's all I'm gonna do.
You got it up. Oh, it's just I can't.
Oh God, it's still there. I can't get rid of it off of my monitor. Okay.
Ugh,
right.
That was tough. Wow, what a face swap. What are we talking about? E3 is going on, and there's been stuff announced and whatnot since basically the weekend. Some of the presentations were over the weekend. There was today the Nintendo, I guess, did something in the morning that I didn't even know about yet.
I didn't get a chance to see it.
And there's going to be more stuff tomorrow, and things are going to be I guess playable today and tomorrow and Thursday the same. So things like Dragonball and Marvel Infinite, there will be more thoughts coming out from players, I'm sure, over the next couple of days. But when it comes to God, I just can't get it out of my brain.
It's too funny.
What? E3.
E3.
Yeah.
E3.
What do you think so far?
I wish I could talk about the Nintendo stuff, but I haven't seen the Nintendo conference yet. I can honestly say I haven't been too wowed by a lot of the things that's been at the Microsoft and the Sony PlayStation conferences. I'm not enamored with a lot of things. Honestly, the best looking things in the Microsoft one were Cuphead again and Dragon Ball Z. At least Cuphead has a release date.
That's
They
true.
announced September, right? They announced September. So there you go. That's perfect, right?
Yeah. Game of the show for 5 consecutive years.
Yeah, exactly. So that's their plan, just to
so.
make it always people talk about Cuphead, basically, right? So, but Dragon Ball Z was the other good-looking one, right? And then in the Sony PlayStation conference, like the most impressive thing to me was an old game.
Yeah.
The Shadow of Colossus.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, but again, that's kind of that nostalgia drug again, right?
Sure, although that was a really good game.
Yeah, that's a fantastic game. And it was one of the games that, like, it needed to be upgraded in graphics. Because even as nice as it looked in PlayStation 2, you could tell that game would have that much more impact if the graphics were that much more
Yeah,
improved.
that makes sense.
So I'm, like, really excited about that. But to be honest with you, like, I don't know if there's a lot of other games. I mean, God of War looks interesting, but it's more behind the back action now. It's less one running around in, like, all directions, you know what I mean? So it's like
and I guess you're stuck with Junior for the whole game. And
it looks like
I hope he's not going to be like some little jerk who you got to take care of the whole time because nobody likes an escort mission. And if that's the entire game, I don't know.
I mean, to be fair, Shadow of Colossus, the game that came before, Ico, was a escort mission game, and that game is fantastic.
Yeah, so. No, I mean, they're not always bad.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I thought it was pretty cool and pretty unexpected that Ubisoft is doing something with Nintendo. Did you see that? You didn't see that?
The Rabbids game or something like that.
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
I don't even know anything about Rayman Rabbids, so I don't know what the collaboration is. But everyone was like, "Man, everybody really wants to." Like, they didn't know that they wanted this, you know?
Yeah, it was basically, it's like a turn-based game. It's kind of like XCOM-y. But with, like, the Mario characters and the Rabid versions of themselves. Like, Rabid Peach, Rabid Luigi.
Really?
Yeah, it's wild.
Oh, jeez. Okay.
And it sounds kind of interesting, I guess. It's just, it's totally unexpected. Like, who would think that combination would happen? And then it would be like a turn-based game. You know, it's very unexpected, but it looks fun. So what can you say? I think that looks pretty cool. I think among the non-fighting games, that's probably one of the ones that I am more interested in. Apparently, Nintendo announced 2 Metroid games.
Really?
Yeah.
But what kind of Metroid games? Like real Metroid games or
Metroid Prime 4?
Really?
Apparently only with a placard, no release date, etc.
Okay.
But that's going to be a thing. And then also Metroid Samus Returns, a side-scrolling 3DS game.
Ooh, so like an old-school Metroid kind of game. I mean, hopefully it's Metroidvania-esque.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
Let's see. Yeah, the Xbox One X is a thing. You know, it costs $500, and it's the most powerful console ever, and it has 1,000 teraflops. Whatever.
I tweeted this out.
But I don't care about that at all.
I don't care about 4K graphics.
Me neither.
I just don't care about. I mean, I was saying the biggest
so
problem
many
right
teraflops.
now is like all these games. They all look the same right now. They're all. I mean, I think Eris said this. They all look like Uncharted, right? They're either first-person shooter.
Yeah.
They're Uncharted or they're Dark Souls.
Yeah.
You know, and like all these games look the same to me. I don't know. And the thing about it is, for me, games are always about gimmicks. There was always a gimmick when it came out when I was growing up, right? It was like, here's this game, here's this goofy gimmick. Like my first favorite video game, you killed monsters with a pump. I thought that was cool. Instead of like, yeah, it was cooler than like shooting them with lasers and stuff like that. It was neat,
fun
right?
game.
Or here's this game where you can, you know, your movement is limited by this way, so you have to do this. Or you can, you know, like video games were trying to do something that were out of the ordinary so that you had this fun game to play. And I feel like right now, all these games are trying to go this realistic route. Here's this giant world to explore, right? And like, I mean, it sounds weird because I've been playing a ton of Zelda and I love Zelda, but like the way that they did Zelda, it's beautiful. Like there's nothing to fight most of the time. You're just like exploring. And to me, I just like that. The gimmick of that game is the exploration. Then when you find all the shrines, you're playing video games, solving all the puzzles in the shrines. Like you go into the shrines, it's like, there's no reason why you should be dropping a ball into this thing and trying to like play mini golf with a giant ball by tilting a hammer. You know, like, there's just no reason for you to be doing this.
Cool,
but you have that in there because it's a video game. And it's so amazing. I love that, right? So I don't like that they're all doing this kind of thing now. Like Anthem, for example, was the big reveal for Microsoft. Game looked nice.
Sure, very pretty.
Game was very beautiful. But what was the gimmick of the game? What makes that game stand out outside of the fact that it looks more beautiful than other games that you've played that are just like it?
Well, I'm not sure.
Call of Duty, World War II. What makes that, like, when you see the next FPS, what makes that FPS that much more interesting, right? I don't
know, but I always my thoughts on that are, what if you are a fan of shooters or whatever, and you look at the fighting games and you're like, what makes any one fighting game different from another? Do people say that? Like,
yeah. A lot of people
I think they
that.
do too.
Yeah.
So that's always my consideration when I think to myself, that shooting game looks just like the other shooting game.
Right.
I just know that I don't know enough about it, so that's cool. People can enjoy their thing, and that's fine with me. But is it for me? No, that doesn't do much for me. Like, I don't. Apparently, the Battlefield 1 is coming out with the Eastern Front expansion from World War One. I guess that's fine. Like, that was a much more interesting front, but I don't think that matters. Like, I posted about that on Twitter, and that's anyway. Clearly, it's not a historically accurate game, so fine.
Right.
It's just I don't want to be critical about things that I know I don't really know that much about, but to me, it doesn't look that interesting.
Yeah, so, like, you know, when I see a shooter game, and it's like Splatoon, and they just, like, here's this gimmick, you paint the walls.
Clearly different.
You're swimming in them, and you're trying to claim more territory.
Clearly unique.
Yeah, I was like, that's sick.
Yes.
That's kind of neat. You know what I mean? And, like, that's kind of the thing, right? Like, obviously, sometimes the graphics is the gimmick. Like Gran Turismo games, the graphics have always just been the gimmick, right? Like, this just looks as realistic as possible. Cars. Yeah, but it's all super realistic, right? It's not like you're drifting everywhere and crazy stuff like that. The physics were real. The guy actually drove every car and, like, the developers tried to mimic it, as much as possible. That was the gimmick. It was the most realistic the most realistic racing game ever. You know, stuff like that. Like, I just want my games to have gimmicks again. It's why I pissed off a lot of people on Twitter when I said that I think Okami is kind of overrated. Like, I love the game. I think it's beautiful. It's
very pretty.
It's one of my favorite games to look at, but I just didn't think the painting mechanic was thought out well enough. You know what I mean? Because it really was just Zelda items.
Yeah.
You know, it was like, instead of you carrying a boomerang and a candle, it was like, now it's a circle, now it's an X, now it's this. You know what I mean? Stuff like that. So, you know, what's the gimmick? What is it that makes your game that it's a video game to be played? That's something fun to be played.
Beyond Good and Evil 2 is happening.
Yeah.
That sounds cool. I mean, there's other cool stuff. Like, there's that Way Out game by EA, the co-op, I guess, kind of shooter. I don't know. It's like you shoot guns at some point at least, but there's also, like, escapes and whatnot. You're trying to escape out of a prison. That sounds more interesting than maybe others. There was that Spider-Man game.
Yeah. See, I mean, when I played Spider-Man 2, I just liked swinging. Like, I could just swing around. Like, after you powered up, I didn't care about anything more. I just swam. I just swinged. I just, like, was swinging around the city all over the place. I didn't even care. I didn't care about rescuing balloons for 900 times or rescuing the 700th person falling off a building for some strange unknown reason. But, like, it was just fun to swing around and just do all the crazy, just to travel. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, the swinging was the gimmick of the game. That's what made the game so much fun.
Sure. I'm not real sure about how that Spider-Man game controls. Maybe there's been more info about it today that things have been playable. But I couldn't tell, like, how actively you were controlling the swinging during the movement sections.
Right.
I thought that was kind of hard to tell from the trailer. You were definitely, like, aiming webs and stuff while fighting, but then you were also definitely just, like, reacting to, like, the game says press X, and you're like, X! I hate that gameplay.
You hate QTEs.
I don't.
Yeah.
There's no interest there to me. Like.
Yeah.
React. Okay, fine. What is that?
Yeah.
You're not doing stuff in my view. So I hope that's not a big part of the game. But if the swinging, if the movement is interesting, then cool. That's, like, sick.
I agree.
I'm down with that.
But yeah, I don't know. Like, I'm definitely an old man when it comes to video games. Like, I'm that guy who's complaining about why movies can't all be like Gone with the Wind at this point in time. I totally am aware of that, and it's like
you get stuck at some point.
Yeah, it's. But I mean, the thing is, I still find new games that I do enjoy that I really love to play and everything. But like, it's.
I really like the perspective from let me see who that was, from Tsarn. It's a movie you have to press a button every 5 seconds to keep from turning off. Yeah. That is a really good explanation.
Dude, the funniest...
I don't want to watch that kind of movie.
The funniest... God. Someone tweeted this from like a PC version of a Spider-Man game where he's like supposed to try to like rescue this girl in this like lab that's about to explode, right? And you jump from the window and like you see him like get ready to web and a QTE shows up. Like, you see the girl, she's tied up to this machine, everything's on fire, and she's just like, please, save me! And then Spider-Man jumps, the QTE comes out, he fails, and he just falls on his face, and it pans back to the girl, and she's like, I'm gonna die! And the building blows up.
It was so like, fast, though. There was, like, no time to, like, digest
like,
that you had failed.
Help me! I'm gonna die! Boom! Like, and then I couldn't stop laughing at that thing. But
that's like so dumb that it would actually be pretty funny to play a game that was just full of total nonsense like that.
Yeah, exactly.
If you like purposely did it stupidly to have it be fun, fine.
It was like it's like Dragon's Layers. You just want to see all the ways Dirk the Daring can die, right? So. Yeah. Oh my god.
That was really actually very funny.
Oh shoot.
I'm sure somebody will link it.
Yeah, hopefully someone
in the old chat.
I have it in my likes for sure. So.
You know, for MKX, the story mode had a bunch of QTEs in it.
Oh yeah.
And you didn't need to pay attention to them at all. You could just
it's true. Indie games on Steam is a lot of times where a lot of the interesting games. These days, But I'm sorry. Go ahead. What was that?
I was just gonna say. I liked the story mode because you didn't actually have to press any buttons.
Oh, in Injustice, you mean?
No, in MKX story mode.
Okay.
If you didn't press the button at the right time, then your character just got hit.
Mm-hmm.
But like, there's no penalty to that.
Right?
You just get beat up instead of beating up the other guy. Who cares?
Dude, have you ever played Heavy Rain?
Well, that's fine. Actually, no, I haven't.
Dude, so Heavy Rain is like QTE the game, basically, right? But like, it's shown as a lot of characters can die and all this stuff like that, right? And like you have all these chase sequences where you're supposed to like jump over things.
What are you thinking about? Are you thinking about the lady saying I'm gonna die?
No, this one is to me it's almost just as funny. Okay, so the truth is your characters can only die like in one spot, but like there's these crazy fights that it looks like, oh, I'm about to get pushed into a blade, so you're like, if I miss the QTE, he dies, and how is the story gonna change? But you succeed, right? There's this whole chase like through the supermarket where someone records the video where he fails every QTE event.
Okay.
It changes nothing. Like, the result is still the same, but everything is like, he's jumping over everything. He's like, oh my god, I failed. Like, the bad guy runs around the corner, and he tries to run around the corner, and he slips, and he hits the wall, and he runs, and he's like, tries to get out of the way of this lady. Like, the bad guy jumps, and this lady crosses, and he's like, oh my god, and like, slams into the lady, like, does this all day, and it's like the best video ever.
And it made it didn't matter at all.
And the bad guy never got further away, but like it was like a comedy because the guy couldn't do anything right, and like, oh my god, like dude, that shit was so funny, dude.
That would be really funny if that was like the intentional thing. Like you press the QT to make him slip, and like, Anyway.
Oh my god, that thing was so amazing.
I'm not sure if I am excited for the Spider-Man thing or not, because it entirely depends on how you actually control things. And I don't know from watching it.
Yeah, someone put it properly. That video went from intense chase to naked gun.
That's funny.
Yeah, someone linked the Heavy Rain video. Oh god, this thing is so hilarious. Do you want me to play this on
Yeah, go for it, sure.
I need to... Oh god, this thing made me laugh so much.
Oh, yeah, Rocket League is coming to the Switch. That's pretty cool. I'm just looking up like the top announcements right now.
I can't stop laughing thinking about this. Oh, God. This thing is the best.
Oh, there's a new Yoshi coming to the Switch.
Oh, nice. Okay.
It includes paper mache and cardboard items.
Oh, they're going paper now instead of yarn.
Interesting. Yeah, I suppose.
Alright, I've got to show this video here, so here we go.
2 DLC packs for Breath of the Wild coming out.
Okay. Here we go. You ready for this, dude?
Let's do it!
You ready for this? Let's do this. I'll turn the volume on for you.
Miroslav Korda? Yeah? Lieutenant Carter Blake, I'd like to ask you some questions.
Oh my gosh. That was hot coffee.
Someone added music to this. Oh my god.
I know this music. What's this from?
This is Final Fantasy.
Oh, yeah.
Someone actually added laughter to this. Oh, this is not the right one, but well, anyway.
Oh man, it's fine. You're getting hit by cars. It's cool. What, did he grab the wrong person?
Yeah.
God, that bad guy is just...
Like, seriously, this should be...
Yeah, the Benny Hill, right? Oh no, it was a very heavy table. The guy's still there. Oh my god. Oh no. Get him! Again.
And he's like not even any further.
Yeah, he's right there. Oh yeah, these shrimp will get him. That was too much.
Dude, he's still there. He's throwing chickens at you now.
The chicken. Why are there live chickens in this grocery store? He even waves his hands like an idiot.
No difference. No difference.
He just gets hit by cars. Wow, that looks like a terrible video game.
There you go. That thing made me laugh so much. Oh my god.
That's not a good idea for gameplay. No.
That's pretty much the majority of that game is QTEs like
Well, I remember hearing about that game at the time, and I'm glad I didn't play. Good choice. Passed, David.
Oh my god. So
Yeah.
good.
So anyway, some cool stuff for the Switch. There's a new Xbox One X.
You know, someone actually tweeted
Whatever.
out that the abbreviation
Not the
for
greatest year for
Xbox
E3.
One X is Xbox OX. Like, it's XBOX.
Xbox. Oh, it's
So
one of
it's-
those acronyms within an acronym.
Yeah, but then, so they said that
Whatever that's called. Some name for
so
that.
the names went full circle, aka 360.
Oh god. Yeah. There's some word for that. Like wine on Linux. Wine is not
yeah. Pine, like it was like pine is not elm or something like that, or
wine is not or something. Anyway, yeah, I forgot the name for it. Whatever. I don't care about that.
yeah. And then people were tweeting out the tweet of like Xbox One XX, Xbox One XX Reload, Xbox One XX Accent Core, and then Xbox One Xrd and stuff. Oh man,
Wine is not an emulator. Thank you.
that's what it is. Yeah, there it is. Okay.
So whatever. It's not the greatest E3 year. You know, you get some hits and some misses.
recursive acronym is what they said it's called.
Recursive.
I like that. Okay.
Makes sense. Makes sense. Yeah, I don't know. You know. Oh yeah. Cool news about the E-League. We'll talk about that in a bit.
Oh yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Anything else about E3 itself?
Yeah.
Look, you mentioned before that there's a lot of games to check out. I think the fighting game announcements are pretty cool.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I want to play Marvel Infinite. I want to play DBZ, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
The City is available. I'm in there. Like, there's stuff that I want to play.
Yeah.
But
and ARMS, dude. I want to check out ARMS.
Exactly. Yeah, stuff like that. But for a lot of the other games, I feel like I'm just going to basically walk right past and, like, not pay attention to it. Maybe spend some time over in the old classic arcade section that they always
Yeah,
have.
we always go there where they have the
they stomp
Activision
on-
patches. Yeah.
Stomp on some noobs in Super Turbo, which they always have there. You know, people always sidling up to that machine like they think they know how to play video games. They don't.
I wonder if people even know about those Activision patches. They used to have it so that if you scored a certain score, took a photo of it, and mailed it to them, they would give you an iron-on patch that was like, hey, I beat this score. And I actually have a patch from Frostbite.
Woo!
I was like pretty much the best at that game. Like, I was amazing at the game Frostbite. That game was a lot of fun. It was really simplistic and surprisingly probably not very fun if I went back and played it now. But, you know, dude, I was amazing at that game, so...
Pedantic Sim says what we were talking about is called a backronym.
Oh, a backronym.
That makes sense to me, but I'm glad to have taken lessons on words like that from Pedantic Sim. That's a beautiful name for exactly that kind of interaction.
Nice. But yeah, they always have a glass case at that retro arcade section with all of the Activision patches in there. So yeah,
as well as lots of other old games. Yeah, all right, so we're going to get a chance to play E3 stuff tomorrow. I guess we'll talk about it next week on the Tuesday, but in the meantime, I guess that's it for E3. You want to talk about other stuff? Wow, there's a buttload of stuff to talk about. Jeez. CEO is also happening.
Oh, shoot, I just forgot to change all the topics and stuff like that. Whatever, okay.
Well, CEO 2017 is this coming weekend. It is a major tournament. It has been basically at, like, there's the tier right below EVO.
Actually, a Combo Breaker champion here is linking us, looks like a new leaked Marvel footage. Is this a joke? See, I'm always worried, but when I'm checking out a video from a Combo Breaker tournament champion here. Oh yeah, see, I knew that wasn't going to be real. Okay, anyways, let's go. Let's keep going.
Very funny.
Yes.
Yeah, so CEO is happening. It's, like I was saying, just in that tier right below EVO. Right, EVO's its own beast. And then you got, like, CEO, Combo Breaker, whatnot. It's definitely in that mix. Last year was not the best CEO has been. There were some issues.
Yeah, it's the same.
But even still, it was really good, and I'm sure it'll all be ironed out now.
It's the same issue that EVO had last year. They were not ready for the amount of people to show up for it. And CEO just had terrible air conditioning problems. And because what...
There's no retro arcade at E3? I'm not going. ARMS comes out on Friday. I got Marvel Infinite Story Mode demo. I can watch DBZ stuff. Screw it.
Yeah, I know.
Why go? Why bother?
Look, I know it's a dream for a lot of people to make it to E3.
Yeah.
But this year is one of the first years where they've opened it back up to lots of people. Like, and that was basically when E3 was the most miserable. Okay, number one.
Wow.
Can't
mix with the plebes, eh?
It's not even just that. It's that there's just so many goddamn people in there.
It means miserable. It means you have to do the same kind of thing if you go to Disneyland and it's super crowded. Which 2 rides do you want to ride that day?
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
I know what you mean.
But like obviously, like everybody is super excited about like going to E3. But man, like I just know it's just going to be so tiring.
Yeah, it will be.
It's going to be a lot of stuff
it'll
going
be cool
on over there. So
anyway, so CEO, right? So Marvel Infinite will be playable at CEO. People who don't get a chance to play it at E3 will have the chance to do so at CEO. So that's very, very cool. On top of that, a ton of players and the list of what do you do?
Oh, this is the video that the Combo Breaker champion linked us. And it's just the video.
Good timing.
It's just a video with Flo. He was like, play that video. And so I wanted to see what it was. And, I'm not worried about it in any case.
All right, anyway. We'll both be there. We'll both be at CEO. We're going to be commentating various things. But, again, always cool to look at CEO because it was one of the first big tournaments to make it more than just a tournament. The art section, the other stuff that they do.
And the presentation.
There's the pool party.
The presentation that he always does with the ring and everything like that has always been amazing. Although he's still not the first person to do a ring like he keeps claiming he is.
You're right.
But like it's still really cool, and he always creates that wrestling feel to it. Like Kenny Omega and Xavier Woods showed up last year. They even played an exhibition match against each other. There's a lot of cool things going on, at CEO. It's always been like, up until maybe last year, this year, it's always been the event to go to if you can't make it to EVO.
Yeah.
If you had to make one event that's not EVO. And nowadays, it's kind of Combo Breaker, but CEO is probably still right there.
For sure.
And it's not a surprise, right? Because Rick got a lot of his TO experience helping Jabali put together Combo Breaker.
Yeah, they work together very closely.
Yeah, exactly. So, yeah.
Yeah, definitely. They have put the stream schedules out. Capcom Fighters for SF5, NetherRealm for Injustice, Tekken, I guess, for the Tekken 7 thing. And you can find all that stuff on the CEO Gaming Twitter account. So I'm looking forward to it. And in part because there's going to be so many good players there. There's always a ton of good people who go to CEO. It's a premier event for basically everything. And that means you always get to watch really good play, like high level stuff.
Yeah, and Curly W, he's saying he's still working on the pools, so balancing out the pools. He did say that there's more unique competitors there than Combo Breaker, and about 200 more. And again, CEO has it has a reputation for being a great event. And then not only that, but it's always the event right before Evo where people get to test everything out. So.
Very important event, definitely. I've been trying to find the numbers this entire time.
Yeah, you should be able to play Marvel Infinite there, too. You should be able to play it at CEO as well. It's going to be playable at CEO as well. So I'm sure that Curly W has the numbers.
I found it. Okay. So Smash Wii U is actually in the lead.
Yes.
And it's closed now, right? There's no in-person registration for CEO?
Yeah.
I know there was not for Combo Breaker. But let me know, Curly. So 611 right now for Wii U. Dang! That's a big one. And then 548 for Street Fighter V. Okay. In third place, 400 people in Justice 2. 292 for Melee. 247 for Tekken 7. Nice work. 147 for Guilty Gear Xrd Rev 2. Marvel 3 has 145. Pokken 121. KI 78. BB 76. KOF 14. 70. The last two of which are Evo Sunday games. Maybe not the best of choices in retrospect. But that's how it is. And we'll see how that stuff goes.
Yes.
But, dude, Wii U running the show over there.
What's that?
Wii U is running the show.
Oh, yeah. Not surprised. And you know what? Like, this is the one thing that I can say that I think would probably make a lot of people in the chat be like, we want Capcom to succeed. Because if MvCI and Street Fighter V fail, guarantee you fighting game community is run by Smash. It will be like 80% Smash Brothers, which I'm okay with because I enjoy Smash.
Cool with me.
I have no problem with that, but that's exactly what's going to happen.
I'm with you. I think you're probably right.
Evo will basically become like 60% Smash competitors.
And Capcom's like the little Dutch boy with his finger in the levee.
Yeah.
Just like stopping the sea from coming in. Maybe. I don't know. Whatever, that's fine with me. But yeah, you can go on smash.gg and you can see exactly who is where. Like Curly said, the guy who makes pools for a bunch of different tournaments, including this one. You can... the pools are not ready yet, but you can see, numbers and all that stuff. So, looking forward to it.
It'll be a really fun event. So hopefully the air conditioner works much stronger this year. Because the thing about it is, have you checked the weather? It's going to be a thunderstorm the whole entire weekend.
Always.
Yeah. So
Florida in June,
dude. The best was the year that Injustice 1 came out. And Jabali showed up in the Black Adam cosplay.
No, it's right, yeah.
And then the building got struck by lightning and it lost power.
Yeah.
And we're like, never do that again, Jabali.
Yeah.
But, it's just going to be the same situation where if it's hot and humid inside and you go outside to cool off, it'll still be hot and humid outside.
Yeah.
That's what it is. But hopefully...
Whatever geniuses put a tournament in Florida in the summer and a tournament in Canada in the winter... Come on, guys. Just do a little flipperoo, please. Go to Calgary or Toronto in, like, November, December, January.
Right,
Come on.
Oh, man. All right.
Anyway, yeah, we'll be there. We'll be there. Yes. Say hello to James, if you can. I'll be walking around. Yeah. But say hello to James.
Why me? In particular.
Just, leave me alone.
Okay.
No, happy to say hello to everybody. Anyway, there's also Dreamhack Summer.
Yes, coming
this weekend.
Yeah,
which last I checked had 25 or 27 entrants for Street Fighter V.
Mm-hmm.
Something just abysmal. It's always been very curious to me.
Is it a premier event as well?
It is indeed.
Okay.
It's always been curious that Jönköping, Sweden, however you pronounce that, is the site of one of the biggest video game festivals in the world. That's like just a weird choice.
Yeah, I heard a lot of players are going there because it's going to be easier to win.
Right. Not many people. Everybody going is legit. Like, there's no fluff there. So it's not going to be easy. But still, not many people signed up for it. Because do you want to fly into Sweden and then you take the bus for 2 hours in the middle of nowhere and then you're just like stuck in some small town? It's such a weird place. But hey, that's where they've been doing it, and they seem very intent on keeping it there, and it's certainly been successful for them, so I guess.
Yeah, someone tweeted, so GTO Akira said that Itazan, Mago, Daikokugo, and Gamerby, and Oil King, and more will all be there.
Yeah, you got to expect the top European players to be there.
Oh, there was the Twitch Esports SFE tourney, and according to Lab J010, or Lab Jolo or whatever, Snake Eyes beat Punk.
Ooh.
Which characters? You know, because I just don't know who Snake Eyes is using right now.
Yeah, no, I mean, for sure, like, Dreamhack has done fantastically for itself. It just seems weird to me that it would be there, but clearly it's been established for a long time at this point and super popular for a lot of the PC games.
Oh, it was Akuma, so he played Akuma and beat... Wow.
Cool, dude.
Interesting.
Gotta check that out. Didn't get a chance to watch any of that stuff today.
Dang. Okay, that's cool. Good job. Okay.
Interesting stuff. Yeah, he's been on a tear.
Yeah, Snake Eyes has really been leveling up, and I really think it has a lot to do with the fact that he's using less and less Geef.
It's weird because Geef is good.
Well, here's the thing.
I think Geef's better than Akuma.
So, I mean, I don't disagree, actually, but what Snake Eyes wanted to play with Geef was not working.
Yeah.
Playing Akuma is teaching him Street Fighter V, which then has turned and made his Geef even better because now he's playing Street Fighter V a little bit more now.
Yeah, but apparently he did use Geef a lot during the tournament.
Yeah. But, I mean, that's what I mean. Like, I'm not saying that he's not... The more he uses Akuma, the more he plays Street Fighter V, the more he can separate himself from all the Street Fighter 4 things that he wants to do with Geef, right? And so that's why it's helping... Playing Akuma is helping his Geef.
Well... Couple of big tournaments coming up this weekend, like we said, so keep your eyes peeled for that stuff if you're not going. Basically, all the games will be there at some point or another. And like I said, you can check out CEO Gaming on Twitter for a lot of info. Smash.gg as well for all the streams and schedules and all that stuff.
Okay, he destroyed Arturo 3-0 with Geef? Really?
You know, Art thinks that's an even matchup.
Really?
In fact, some Sims in the old Simquisition think Geef beats Stalsum. I pop in there every now and then to be like, come on, guy. Like, I just like, I usually just listen to, or usually just read what they're writing. This is like a secret Twitter chat of Dalsum players. And I just like see and read it every now and then. But when I see that, I have to be in there like, come on, guys. Settle down. That would be Saban, Arturo Sanchez.
Let's talk a little bit about some just game news here. I know GTO Akira mentioned that Rage Volume 4 was this past weekend too, so hopefully we can get some results. DBFZ is only 20% done, apparently.
Well,
Art hasn't been motivated. No, that makes sense. I understand that from him. So, but also there was a couple of Capcom Pro Tour online events that had results here. Oh, well, GTO Akira says, oh, that's right, Fudo won. He beat Nemo in Grand Finals, and Fudo finally won a tournament. Like, it's weird to say that, but he's been getting top 3, top 2 at every event, but he keeps coming just short. So.
Nemo's been in Grand Finals pretty consistently himself, often on the winning side of it, so good job to him to be as consistent as he is. But definitely good job to Fudo for taking it. That was a really good tournament. Do you have the results up there?
Which one?
The Rage?
I just have it so that 7th place was Ponzaman, and where the heck did his tweet go? I mean, his post. Oh yeah, Ponzaman and Momochi were in 7th place. 5th place were Michie and Kichipamu. 4th place was Itazan. 3rd place Haitani. 2nd place Nemo. 1st place Fudo. I mean, look, Fudo, Nemo, Haitani. Like it's like those 3 are pretty much, I feel like, the best right now, along with Tokido maybe. From Japan, I don't know. What do you think? Do you think there's anyone else from Japan I might be missing?
Among people who travel a lot, maybe that's the list.
Right.
Yeah, I kind of think that Gachikun would be up there, but he doesn't travel terribly often.
Yeah,
So.
that's true. That's true.
Dude, I really liked watching Kichipam Geef. He was really good. Really good player. And then I also really enjoyed watching Haitani just destroy.
Oh, Bonchan, of course. Duh, Bonchan.
Obviously Bonchan.
Bonchan. Yeah, I knew I was missing somebody. Thank you.
Anyway, really fun to watch Haitani just know exactly how to beat every Geef player super easily. Like I said, I think Geef's really good in this game, but I do think he loses to Nikali. It's just Haitani always wins that matchup. I don't know that I've seen him lose to a Geef. He's so consistent at it. It's just fun to watch. Like as somebody who plays Geef and I know how the matchup goes, at least at my level, it's really really a treat to see somebody blow it up as much as he does. It's really cool. Anyway, fun to watch. Good tournament.
Capcom Pro Tour Online ranking event for Europe. The results were 7th place were Tres Puntos and Acre Cola. 5th place were with M. Bison and Urian. 5th place was Dr. Gulag with Laura. I Need More Power with Ken. 4th place was IND Shady with Nikali and Urian. 3rd place was Sunmate with Birdie. 2nd place was Swag Skeletor with Fong. And 1st place was ROG DSE Ras with Balrog. Now, what's interesting to note is that I think every online tournament up to this point has been won by Balrog.
Correct, in the different regions.
Yep, and now let's go to the North America.
Right, yeah. But shout outs to the Fang player. Hey,
yeah,
nice work over there.
7th place was Marvello with Urian and Dominion with Fang and Guile. 5th place was Nephew with Colleen, and 5th place was Carlos FL with Ibuki. 4th place Flash with Urian and Vega. 3rd place CJ Truth with Cammy. 2nd place Method, Mike and Ike with Laura. And 1st place Brian F with Balrog.
Yeah.
So I think all 4 of the online events have been won by Balrog.
I believe you're right.
Balrog is the true online warrior.
Hey, he's a good character.
Yes.
There's no doubt about it. No doubt about it. Cool on CJ Truth to get up that high. He's really been building his resume again. And nice to see Mike and Ike up there doing work as well.
Yeah.
By the way, Flash I feel like gets top 8 at everything.
He does.
I tell you that. He hasn't won anything as far as I know, but he is. I feel like he's always minimum 9th place and usually top 8. So good job.
Oh man.
I'm happy to see some Fangs doing well. I think he's a pretty good character now. Not top tier, obviously, but certainly better than before.
Okay. Oh, let's see here. Okay, so I'll just talk about this because I hinted at it, but I just saw this just tweeted out. This was just tweeted out 6 hours ago. But they basically said that Guilty Gear Revelator has had a sales boom after Dragon Ball FighterZ was announced.
That's so cool.
Yeah. So
that's so cool.
Sales estimating website Steam Spy is reporting a sudden burst in PC sales for Guilty Gear Xrd Revelator. The timing of this surge coincides with the announcement of Arc System Works' upcoming anime fighters Dragon Ball FighterZ.
Wow.
It appears new players are diving into the ASW catalog to prepare themselves for the impending Dragon Ball title. I think that's super cool.
I think that's... Wait, go up there. Looks like there's some numbers, actually.
Oh, was there? God. Scroll page. So, on June 8th, Steam Spy reported 37,600 owners for the popular air dashing fighter. On June 9th, the first reports of DBFZ's existence was leaked. June 11th was the official announcement, and by June 11th, Steam Spy estimated a new total of 46,366 owners, an increase of 8,766 in 3 days. That's about 19% of total sales for the game over 3 days.
Keep in mind, only on PC, only talking about the Steam version, which I imagine is a tiny fraction of the overall sales of that game.
This is on Shoryuken.com, by the way. Someone's asking, where's this article at? And Blaze Blue Central Fiction also had a small push of about 2,000 plus owners.
Nice.
So there you go. And it's worth noting that Steam Spy is not 100% accurate as it measures owners and not actual sales. However, the spike is quite unlike anything Xrd has seen on the Steam platform since its release.
High five, dude.
Yeah, there you go.
Good work.
Let's go Arc System Works.
Definitely.
Okay. Some event news is that, here, let me go here. Let me see, are these the two same things here? let's see here. So this is Rev Major Philippines. No, these are two different Philippine events.
Nice.
So Rev Major in the Philippines was just announced for July 8th and 9th. And it's coming to Makati City, I think. Wait, hang on a second, let me see this. So Rev Major Philippines brings Tekken 7, Street Fighter 5, and more to Makati City in a Tekken World Tour Masters event.
Ooh.
Okay, so there you go. So that's going to be taking place this July again on 8th through 7th. They're going to have Street Fighter 5, Smash Wii U, Injustice 2, Rev 2, KOF 14, and UMVC 3.
Sick.
And then also announced was another Philippines major that was announced for September 8th and 10th. And they added 4 games to it. So it's the third annual Manila Cup.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Is coming back. And it's going to be same city, apparently, Makati in Philippines. With Street Fighter 5, Tekken 7, Smash Wii U, Injustice 2, Rev 2, BlazBlue, Central Fiction, MKXL, and UMVC 3. MK still kind of living?
How about that?
Maybe.
Makati is in Manila, apparently.
Oh, okay.
It's like in Metro Manila, so...
Got it. Okay.
Yeah.
So there you go. A couple of Philippines events coming up. So,
Cool, man. Happy to see that.
We talked about this already. We talked about the city of Final Fantasy.
We did.
Right? That's coming out. We did talk about Red Hood. Do you have any impressions on Red Hood?
Red Hood. I've only watched the Watchtower. I haven't had a chance to play him yet today. But he shoots guns, and when his trait is a stance where he shoots other guns.
Okay.
I mean, you know. No, he's
a gun shooting guy.
He definitely is a gun shooting guy. He seems like he is a zoner with potential for interesting mix-ups. Lots of air control. He seems to have really good anti-airs. Maybe not as good ground control. So, like, rather than like a Deadshot is like super ground control, not the best air control. Might be kind of the opposite. Okay. So that would be cool. A little bit different take on stuff.
Should rename him to Major Tom instead, then, right? So.
Because he air control.
Because he has ground control. Control for Major Tom.
But not... Major Tom's not the ground control, though. He's talking,
that's true.
talking to ground control anyway.
Yeah, but anyways, never mind. Okay.
Red Hood! Yeah, I think he looks stupid. But I guess some people care about him. So that's cool. He looks to have some cool-looking gear, which is nice. And the play style, I think, is interesting. Like, very, very setup heavy.
Someone keeps putting in the chat, I just want to acknowledge it. So there is an indie fighting game called Blade Strangers that has, it's another one of those, like, a whole bunch of different anime characters from different animes are, like, fighting in together or something like that. But it looks like it's a sprite-based game, and it looks like it's early on in development. So that will be at E3 as well.
Blade Strangers.
Blade Strangers, yeah.
Cool, dude. All right, is that in the indie section? Just so that I know where to go?
Oh, maybe. I don't know.
Probably, if it's an indie fighting game. Just gotta make sure.
Okay. But yeah, continue with Red Hood.
Well, I haven't played him yet, so I mean, my impressions are light. I just haven't had a chance. I was playing Injustice 2 last night as he was being pushed to the servers. But that only meant that my online play was horrible, as the system just, I guess, was groaning under the strain of Red Hood.
Yeah, everyone was probably downloading the patch. So.
Yeah, and people theorized, like, I don't even know if this is real. During E3 week, people are playing PSN games a lot and whatnot. I don't know if that makes it different. I don't know how it works. I'm no expert in console video games.
Console video games are the best, man. The best.
So anyway, I haven't had a chance to play them. For the same reason that I haven't had a chance to get E3 stuff. We were doing ESL today.
Yep. But speaking of Injustice 2, one of the big announcements that came out yesterday as well was that E-League is coming back with fighting games later on this year, and they are going to be hosting the Injustice 2 Tournament Series Championship as E-League.
Very cool, because I love the production of E-League, and I love the commentators they brought from the FGC on E-League, and they certainly had great players, and the matches were awesome. And, the only production tournament-related issue I had with it after, like, the first few weeks when they were, like, asking what could we do better, people were like, here you go, and they took all that advice to heart. Was the Grand Finals, which was whatever bizarre format rather than the typical thing. And I'd be very surprised if they did that again.
Right.
I feel like they almost certainly learned, because they learned from all the things that people asked for them to do differently in the first few weeks. So I'm excited for E-League Injustice 2. Happy to see that game gets the support. That's cool.
Yeah.
A lot of people buying and playing that game.
Gonna say 3 things. 1,
Okay.
up the brightness.
Oh, please.
2, up the volume of the music. Or play different music. And 3, don't let anybody pause and restart. Don't let.
That should just be general tournament rules. Like
only on stream.
Oh,
only on stream.
On stream.
If you're on the pool station, do whatever the hell you want.
Sure.
But on stream, do not pause restart, please.
Yeah, and please have it not dark. If you haven't bought and played Injustice 2 or MKX, because they've been doing this forever, when you first load the game onto your system, one of the first things it has you do is it says, all right, here's the brightness.
Make sure the Superman logo is not visible, but the Batman is.
Lower the brightness until that point. As if, clearly they want it to be dark. Screw that.
Yeah.
Keep it bright. I want to see the things. I don't want to have to be struggling to see, like, what Batman's... Does he have bats or not? Come on. Come on.
Yeah, I agree.
Anyway.
That's kind of the way...
I'm with you on all 3 points.
Yeah. But yeah, so that's pretty exciting, though. But it's really cool to see. So, I hope they change the grand finals rule and continue to try to help. Like I said, there's always the concern of things going to esports.
Yes.
But as long as it doesn't take over the grassroots stuff, like a CEO, like a Combo Breaker, even like an Evo, right?
Oh,
like,
yeah.
As long as the fighting game community is not affected, and players don't become jaded, like, I don't want to go to anything unless it's E-League money, you know what I mean? Like, as long as that doesn't happen, then we're in a good position, in my opinion. So
yeah, if they feel like they're too uppity, then basically they can get bent.
Right. Okay.
Same for commentators.
Yes.
Don't be uppity about things. Not that anybody is, but for future concerns, please don't be.
Yeah, there was I haven't seen this yet, but if there's a Yahoo Esports video called FGC Candid, and they actually just grabbed a bunch of top Injustice 2 players, and they just sit down and just talk about a bunch of stuff, and just kind of like let them talk to each other amongst each other with a bunch of stuff.
Who's there?
They have Echo Fox, Sonic Fox, Noble Dragon, Circa Forever King, and Nasser Tekken Master.
Looks like they also have Slayer and KDZ and Biohazard. Just looking at the people up there on the
in the picture.
In the picture,
yeah.
That's a great set of players to have up there. You got probably the 3 best in the world. IMO in Sonic Fox and Tekken Master, and I would put Dragon right up there. But if not Dragon, then for sure Forever King. But Slayer is right up there, and Biohazard has been in grand finals and top 8 twice in the 2 majors so far. Like I said, great list, and people from different areas. You got almost all of the U.S. represented, plus Canada, plus the Middle East.
Yeah, I'm sad that like Foxy Grandpa or Ketchup and Mustard aren't there. I'm sure they would have had a lot of stuff to input. But I don't know where they got all these guys to sit down together. It must have happened at an event.
Foxy is a great player.
It was Combo Breaker. The Combo brought. It was the Combo Breaker entire top 8. They just sat down with those guys and talked to all of them. Okay, that makes sense then.
Foxy Grandpa, man, I don't know what the deal is, but he did not have a good showing at Combo Breaker.
I remember that.
I'm sure that'll change because he's a very talented player, but right now, he doesn't seem like he's in that short list. I'd be surprised if he didn't end up there.
Right.
But he's not. I don't think he's there right now.
And also, just to support...
Theo, same thing. Like, Theo doesn't have the results yet. Can he be up there? Absolutely.
Right.
But we got to see that first.
But also, to support the Brazilian fighting game community, there's a new indie documentary. One of the ads on this tab are playing, and I can't figure out which one it is. Stop. But it's called FGC Rio. Where is this video? Oh, Jesus Christ! Stop.
Ryan Cosmer got banned.
Did he?
He did.
How did? Oh, nice. Good job, Curly W. There's a documentary called FGC Rio, And there's a teaser trailer that just came out. If you go to SRK, Shoryuken.com, and just look up FGC Rio Brazil documentary, you should be able to find the article on it, and you can go watch the trailer there. But Brazil has been working super hard to grow their fighting game community. I get messages from them all the time, and they're always like, what can we do to help grow it? Like, can you help promote this? Can we do interviews? All sorts of stuff like that, yeah. And honestly, these guys deserve a lot of support.
Yeah, they're doing a lot of what it is that you need to do. And sure enough, now, as compared to even just a few years ago, we're seeing more international travel from them. And we're seeing more international travel to Brazil. And we're seeing bigger events there. Obviously, there's been an FGC there for forever. But I'm happy to see them getting more international recognition now.
Guys like Brolinho have been traveling a lot, and occasionally and stuff like that. So Keoma obviously made a big splash at Capcom Pro Tour, Capcom Cup. So there you go.
Just to address GTO Akira's question, who says, "Did you see Foxy Grandpa rant on the fact that the Pro Tour for Injustice seems to give more advantage to North America than any other region?" Yeah, I think that's accurate. However, I also think that NRS is obviously not exclusively an American game, but heavily a North American game, with the exception of maybe 4 or 5 people, like, in the world. All the best players in almost all of the, like, big scenes are North American. So I think that's too bad, and certainly I would want it to be different, and hopefully it will be in the future. But for now, there just isn't. I mean, there are scenes, of course. UK definitely has a scene. Like, there's other scenes across Europe and Middle East, but not in the size and scope as exists in North America. So I think that kind of makes sense. It's not really like Street Fighter or Tekken, where the
think about
sort of central power is like more.
But also remember that even in the Street Fighter tours, it was kind of weird at first. Like, one of the first Capcom Cups, there was only one, like, U.S. qualifier. Remember, like, Chris Yu was the only one that, like, made it there. Yeah. And, like, and then the next few years, it was kind of unbalanced. But it's taken a few years to get there. So, like, you got to be happy that they're doing this, and it'll improve within the years. Rome was not built in a day, right?
No, indeed. No, indeed.
But Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite's graphics were...
Oh, jeez.
Sorry, that just came out. I'm sorry.
Wow.
I'm sorry. Please delete. Okay, anyways.
No esports commentary for Marvel Infinite for James.
I guess so, right? Damn it.
Dang. I'm hopeful that the scenes in other parts of the world will grow, because they certainly have grown for Injustice, as they've grown in North America too. And hopefully there'll be better reason to have more tournaments elsewhere in the future.
Yeah.
Okay, let's move.
All right. That's all I have for game news, actually. Yeah, that's all I had for game news.
Anything else?
Not that I can think of. I think that's good. And now, people are saying that there's been a link... a list of, like, potential characters in MvCI that was listed again, but you and I have talked about it before. We're just not fans of talking about these kind of leaks and stuff like that.
I feel bad about the leaks,
I mean, people deserve to be excited about. I mean, like, someone actually tweeted out. I think it was High Fight. He was like, "Can you imagine if Dragon Ball was not leaked?"
Oh my god, there would have been heart attacks.
Dude, and then it was the first time people learned about that game, like, at the conference.
Yeah.
We were robbed of that moment.
That's true.
Because of the leaks.
I absolutely agree. I mean, when everybody found out, I'm sure we were all excited. I was excited. But would I have been more excited if it were in the context of a big presentation and you're just seeing the footage for the first time just after it's finding out about it? Probably would have been more exciting.
Yeah.
I'm with you.
A lot of people are saying that apparently... No, I have not seen an episode of Dragon Ball. I mentioned that earlier. But some people are saying that they really want us to talk about the fact that the DLC for Marvel is on disc. Because the DLC is going to be available on day one or something like that. The game is coming out, and, like, the DLC is going to be available right away. So they're just doing SF Cross Tekken again. So it really is the sequel to Street Fighter Cross Tekken, right? I mean, because that's a 2v2, like, you can tag out people...
I hear you. So, that's not a good decision.
No, it's not a good decision.
We were talking about DLC earlier and how it's just part of games and you have to accept that. But at the same time, there are limits to, like, what should be reasonable.
So some people are saying it's not confirmed. Some people are saying who cares. Some people are saying that it is confirmed.
I kind of think who cares. However, I also remember the reaction to it being on disc back in Cross Tekken, and it was a blow up. It was a hugely negative thing for Capcom. A lot of people hated it, and although I may not care about it that much personally, maybe you don't either, it would probably result in people being more angry than they can probably afford. I mean, there are too many things. There are too many things.
Too many
things.
ill will right now.
Yeah.
And again, like, I've been frustrated at the level of ill will going on there. I can understand being upset. So, I mean, it's tough for me. Because, like I said, I want everything to succeed. I want all the fighting games to succeed. I want them all to be good, right? So...
Hey, Captain Marvel has a command grab? I didn't expect that. That's pretty sick, but she does, and she's got, like, beams to zone with.
Oh, nice.
She seems cool. Probably try it. Well, you don't really get a choice when you're playing story mode as to who you play. Game just decides for you, but definitely looking forward to her more. I didn't expect I would like it at all. Like her at all. But
I see. So on Reload,
she seems cool, though.
On Reload, who is a really technical guy, has done a lot of good combo videos and like has done like frame name like parsing and stuff like that to get like hitboxes and things like that. He's a really technical guy. He says that people in the industry explain the on-disc DLC because they make a product that would cost more than $60, right, ahead of time.
Yeah.
So they split up the cost.
But then he clarifies...
Capcom's recent games have had small launch rosters or features, so yeah, it's not good.
Yeah, so you gotta have... I mean, like you were talking about with Mario Kart DLC, if you launch a full game and then you add cool content afterward, awesome. Like, that's great. That's better than not having it.
Right, exactly.
But I'm not sure that's what's happening here, though, anyway. Is it the worst? Maybe. So we're going to try out E3 tomorrow.
Yes. I'm excited for that. I'm going to check out things. And then mostly, I think it'll just be cool because I get to see a lot of friends.
Yeah.
Again, you know, because I know, like, L.I. Joe is there, Kugi is there, a whole bunch of people there.
When SF5 was at E3 before it was launched, that's how it was, right? Like, a lot of folks were there. Joe was there. A lot of other people were there. And so we were all in line trying the game simultaneously, learning things all at the same time. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
It was a lot of fun. Yeah, anything else?
Not that I can think of. Probably just gotta get ready for bed and go to E3 tomorrow. So gotta try to get there as early as I can, but that's probably a losing cause. I'll probably get there at like noon or something like that.
But
dude.
It starts at 10ish, I think.
I
typically
think so,
does.
yeah.
So.
I'll see what I can do. So.
Hey, I went gun shooting over the weekend.
Oh. What? You were playing light gun games
A
in real
liberal
life?
coastal Jew? Yeah.
Wow.
It was more fun than I thought it was going to be. I thought it was going to be stupid, but it's pretty cool. And guess what?
What?
My brothers and my dad and I are crack shots.
Interesting. But does that mean that you will be able to defeat me and my Shiv?
Yeah, it does.
So I need to step up my game then.
You're the guy in Indiana Jones right now who's waving a sword around, and I just take out one of these guys.
Yeah, and then you just like...
And I just down you. Yeah, dude. We were actually really good. I couldn't believe it. I thought we would all suck. Like, why would we be good at that? But, yeah, we were actually really good about it. And it was interesting. It's like an interesting place to see who's there, and it was more diverse than I thought it would be, and it was, you know, I don't know if I want to do it again, but it was definitely cool to do once.
Right. Cool.
It went boom. Boom, boom.
Interesting. Okay.
It's like big booms, too.
Big, loud booms, right?
Oh, man.
Yeah. I'm still playing Zelda. I think I'm like 60 hours into the game, and I'm like barely completed any of it. So
I'm still cracking out on AUGH.
I haven't played Tekken online yet. They fixed it, and I still haven't had a chance to play it yet. There's just like no time to play any of these video games. Video games are so hard to play right now for me. It's driving me nuts. I'm sad about that.
AUGH. Let's play AUGH.
Let's do it, dude.
No, man, we shot a Magnum. We shot some kind of pistol. We shot a rifle.
Shut a Magnum.
Yeah! And I figured out why in video games the Magnums are always, like, crazy damaging. And the recoil is crazy, because guess what? That's real life. They're wild, man. But like I said, I don't really feel like I need to do that again. I feel like that was, like, my time.
Yeah.
It's like, you know, that's it.
Yeah, fair enough. Oh man, no, it's true. The older you get, the less time you have for video. And the craziest thing about it is, like, I thought, like, when I lost my job and I was like, all right, let's go ahead and be a full-time streamer, that I would have so much more time to play video games. It just hasn't been the case. It just hasn't been the case. It's crazy.
Man, I see on this leak list that one of the characters is Garona. Crazy.
My Garona?
Garona half-working in that game?
My Garona. I don't... Garona.
I did not quick scope. Oh, wait. Yeah. I guess I did,
I guess
actually.
you kind of did quick
I
scope.
kinda did,
Yeah, okay. GTO here is asking me, but you have the better answer. But actually, neither of us have played it. We don't know if it's like... If,
oh,
it was netcode, yeah.
Yeah, it sucked yesterday night anyway, because I assume that was because they were pushing out Red Hood and changes, including the character selection screen is different now than it was before, so it probably just changes like that. They were screwing things up. But I'll try tonight, I guess. No, I'm going to be playing MvCI tonight. I don't know when I'm going to get a chance to try that again, but hopefully the internet is good. Because I'm not going to get a chance to play tomorrow, because that's E3, and then we're leaving on Thursday, and I have to do work in between all that, and probably not too much time for the old Inge.
Oh, man. Okay. All right, well, I think that's it for the night.
No, it was a World of Warcraft joke. It's Gamora. Come on. You're not nerdy.
I mean, Gamora was already in the...
It was just the World of Warcraft joke. Jeez.
All right.
Well, that's it. We're going to go to E3 tomorrow. We'll be at CEO next weekend. We'll talk about all that stuff next Tuesday.
Hang on a second. Stop it. Go away.
Oh, I thought you were just going to play the thing.
No, I'm trying to, but...
I mean, like the clip that you had before. I thought that was why you had brought it up.
Oh, no. It was just there because I had saved it. So,
Genius.
But here we go.
Yeah, we'll take videos where we can, for sure.
Yeah, for sure.
At E3.
Where is it? There we go. All right. Peace out, everybody. Have a good one.